So the crowd has been entertained. They'll be certainly entertained for the big one here. Melbourne winning 2 of their last 3 games against North Melbourne, but the Roos currently with 3 odd end, and that's their best winning streak so far in 1998. Melbourne to the right in the first quarter. No real wind advantage. We'll go down to Russell Morris shortly. First kick of the match comes up towards Martin. He overruns it. Steins flips it out to the advantage of Gary Lyon. Couldn't quite handle that one. Scholl. Tingay ridden into the ground. North Melbourne big winners over in Perth recently, the last week. And of course Melbourne upset the West Coast Eagles with a very depleted lineup. Let's go down to Russell Morris. Russell, good afternoon.
It is a good afternoon, Peter, but it has been very, very wet, as you can see with my lovely bright raincoat on. But a bit of a surprise on the bench. Jamie Shanahan from Melbourne starting on the bench, Pete. I'm not too sure who's down there at the moment. It might be Rigoni on Winston Abraham, but Ingerson is on Carey. Also on the bench for Melbourne, Travis Johnston, Jane McDonald and Sean Smith. Because last week, Jeff Farmer started on the bench because he hadn't been playing all that well with Melbourne. But for the bench on North Melbourne, we've got Chandler, Anderson, Crocker and Longmire. So I'll keep you up to date and have a good call, Hooksy.
Any wind advantage, Fly?
No, it's good conditions. There's Tingay into an open goal.
Nearly. Chance for Neitz in the pocket. That's as far as it's going. And the mark taken down there by Scott, and he clears for the Roos. Gets it up towards half-back and Harvey.
Comedy of errors as Harvey just pumps the ball back towards the half-forward line, looking for Wayne Carey. He's got Ingerson a beat at ground level. Uze got a kick away. Cow has just come into the side inside the centre square. Again, pumps the ball along. So a chance for Melbourne. There's a mark to Farmer. The Wizards got it. Runs into the open goal and pops it through. Well, that's Jeff Farmer on screen there, kicking his first goal. Last week he only had 2 kicks and kicked 2 goals against Fremantle. He was benched for most of the game. But Jeff Farmer starting this game in magnificent fashion. And of course we did hear before the start of the game that Norwich was going to play on Winston Abraham, who has lined up at full forward and has been picked up by Guy Rigoni.
88th career goal to Jeff Farmer, his 17th of the year. White loses out to McKernan. He's won both centre bounces so far. Chance for Woden. Gets taken out by Rock. Good hip and shoulder bump. Ball jarred free as a result of that. Scooped up towards the 50-metre line for North Melbourne for the first time. But they can't get into attack. Leoncelli. Off a step. Kicks to half forward. Martin. Chipped in. It was nearly going to be a mark. Stevens. Kicks out towards centre wing. That was particularly good vision. Blakey. Ex of the Victorian side this year. It was great to see him line up in the big V. Carey took a big leap, couldn't complete the mark, actually got nowhere near it. North Melbourne with numbers at the fall of the ball. Tingay comes in looking for a holding the ball decision. There's none there. Rigoni's on the bottom of the pack and the umpire will ball it up just inside 50.
And probably a bit unlucky not to get it, Pete, because Wayne Carey certainly dived on the ball and was tackled legally. So in that situation, he's supposed to hit the ball out immediately and didn't. A
very crowded half-forward line for North Melbourne. McKernan wins it. Matthew Phoebe's kick up towards centre wing. Stevens, there's a push out. Crowd certainly onto that one. McDonald's going to take it. Gives it away to Cow. Just off the centre square. Neitz on a lead and marks. Great to see him back on the Melbourne side. And he looks particularly fit as well. Distance may test him. He'll be kicking from round about 50 metres. As Russell Morris mentioned, no wind advantage. Beautifully delivered and a nice lead. Chance for Melbourne second. Certainly taking plenty of time. Runner up in the club best and fairest back in 1995. Going pretty close. It's there. It's one behind. Sense of theatrics about goal umpires these days. 1-1, never anticipate. We should learn, KB, shouldn't we?
Well, here's a thumping kick, marked by Roberts on the half-back flank for North Melbourne. Goes short and finds Scott. He's got the job playing on Farmer, who's kicked the opening goal for Melbourne. Scott from the half-back line again, just pops it up in the air. Carey had 2 to beat, the big fist away. Jimmy Steins was there as well, pounced on by Farmer. Comes away on the edge of the centre square, goes short, and there's mighty Mick Martin chipping in, taking the grab. He's got the job playing on Gary Lyon. That should be an enthralling contest. Kicks the ball wide. Martin Pike in front, off hands, playing against his old side. Ball rocketed out wide. We see Roberts takes the ball. The ball comes back. Terrific play by North Melbourne to Blakey. Pumps it inside, 50, and there's the man. King Carey's got it.
It doesn't make a difference too, KB, when he has that sort of pace to make up the ground to get to the ball in the first place, and just got right away from Ingerson. There's nothing he could do about it. Did that a couple of times last week in Perth. Just got away from Jakovic, and this time just wrapped the ball up. And a chance to put their first goal on the board.
Well, he had one really brilliant quarter last week, Ross, didn't he? The second.
Just probably about 8 or 9 minutes of footy, Pete. Just really turned the game and gave his side every chance to win it, which they eventually did.
Well, he's kicked 455 career goals in 179 games. He's kicked 44 goals for the season. And you wouldn't think he could miss from there. And he, again, just pops it through.
Yes, he's such an important player for them, no question about that. Just holds that forward line up. Last week they had a very open area inside the 50, particularly where they just kicked towards Carey, then players just turned and ran into the space. And the setup here coming down by young Harvey, who's been a bit quiet in the last month. Had a very good patch of about 4 or 5 weeks where he kicked goals and become a very creative rover for them. But Carey, big job for Ingerson. He's done it before.
Wayne Carey gets his first and North Melbourne's first. The difference back to a point here at the MCG. McCurtain, so that's 3 knockouts he's won, but White gets the kick away, albeit not very far into Melbourne's attacking area. Wobbles out towards centre wing. McDonald gets it away from Stevens. Only just. Good tackle applied by the North Melbourne player to square that ledger. Bell taken out of the contest. Martin clashes with Tingay.
Pushing it back.
That's what I thought, John.
Yes.
I mean, clearly just cannon into the back of Mickey Martin, and I thought it was a push in the back.
Hey, KB, that was sensational because that happened just in front of us here, and the noises that the tackling was fantastic of Stevens on McDonald. I tell you, AFL footy today really hurts.
Yeah, but Fly, there was no free kick which should have gone to Martin. No question about that from Tingay.
Chance for the D's again. Lyon. Viney. Tackled, albeit a little bit late, just when he got rid of the football. Umpire lets it go. Now, that could have almost been holding the ball. It was shuffled underneath Robertson, but it came out pretty quickly. So a bounce right on 50, right half forward flank for Melbourne. The D's getting the first goal today through Jeff Farmer.
Yes, and Martin Pike with an interesting matchup on Todd Viney. He's played a lot of those roles this year, very fit.
Steins, too tall for Scholl. Harvey, close to the boundary line, pressured by Farmer. And the educated kick around the boundary line gains his side about 15 metres. So a throw in, again right on 50. Melbourne with the 1-point advantage early in the first quarter. There's Pagan, North Melbourne coach's box. Pike. Quick kick by Rigoni. Wobbles through for 1 behind. His first score of the day increases Melbourne's lead by 2 points. 8 plays 6 with 14 minutes to go in the quarter.
David King to bring the ball back into play. Victorian back pocket player goes short, finds the fridge in Roberts. Always kicks the ball long, out wide. He's looking for his skipper in Carey already. Looking an awesome opponent for Ingerson. Stops, stands and delivers, trying to weigh up his options. Now kicks a poor kick and has been marked by Uze. Averaging 20 possessions a game. He's had a wonderful season. Kicks the ball up where you see Matthew Phoebe juggles it in front of King. So Melbourne won the round 2 clash against North Melbourne by 25 points, an upset win. They've won 2 out of the last 3 games against the Kangaroos as Phoebe pumps the ball back. Jimmy Stein starting on the field today, looking for Robertson at ground level. Leon Challey, third in their best and fairest last year, just played the 12 games. We've got a high opinion of Leon Challey. This time the ball is put over the line for a boundary throw-in. In fact, it was touched and should be a boundary throw-in. The umpire's got it right. So we can see there, head-to-head in the 90s, North Melbourne 6 and Melbourne 8. So Jimmy Steins to do the ruck work. Got his hands on the ball first, been pinched this time by Harvey. It's a hurried kick back towards the edge of the centre square, taken away by Seacamp, but again a short kick, and chipping in is Martin Pike.
He was actually looking for Viney in the middle of the ground though, KB, and it came off the side of his boot, so poor kick.
Martin Pike, certainly a revelation since moving to North Melbourne. Under Pagan, Rock. Pretty good kick in the end for Shannon Grant if he can pick it up. Got the bounce he wanted. Onto the left goes at goal. Kicks and brings up North Melbourne second. Great goal.
It's an all set up there by a discipline punch from Carey. He was caught behind, but he had the discipline as a forward to come and punch the ball forward of the play. Rock was sitting right in front of him, expecting that play to happen. He then squared the ball across the ground. Here's Carey from behind. Rock right in front of the pack. Perfect positioning. The ball perhaps a little bit too much Carey, but Shannon Grant clever enough just to steady, look towards the top of the square. No one there. Have a shot. Put it through.
Shannon Grant, amazingly accurate this year. 26 goals, 6. North Melbourne lead by 4 points. Jeff White in the centre bounce, again taken away by Rock, who's finding some touch over the last few weeks. Cow thumps the ball back towards centre half forward, and a very, very strong mark has been taken by Scholl. Roscoe really been a full forward over the last 2 or 3 years.
But has been a Victorian half-back, so knows that position pretty well.
Carey caught 3 deep, thumped away that time by White, taken away by Stephen Phoebe. Goes short to Tingay, who was just fantastic last week against Fremantle. Went off in the last quarter with cramp, but up until that point of time was arguably the best player on the ground. It's a thumping kick, again inside 50. Standing his ground was White. At ground level, Leon Challey has the ball, is dragged down. Great tackle by Byron Pickett. Around the corner by Gary Lyon. Wanting the bounce was Neitz. Kicks a goal.
Yes, well, perhaps the replay might show that Winston Abraham, in going for the ball in the air, should have stayed on the ground. There was a contest there, but the kick then just favouring Neitz, as we saw very quickly the kick come out from Lyon and sitting the square on his own and squared the game up.
And we welcome network viewers to the telecast of the big game of today at the MCG, North Melbourne and Melbourne. It's 2 points the difference in favour of Melbourne. Going to the right of screen, their goals have been kicked by David Neitz and Jeff Farmer, Shannon Grant and Wayne Carey, the goal kickers for North Melbourne, as the Roos swing into attack up towards half forward. Another chance for them here. Good hand pass, Carey to Harvey. Harvey goes at goal, but he has missed to the left-hand side, and that makes the difference now just 1 point.
Yes, and the magical skills there of Winston Abraham coming through the traffic in the middle of the ground, just evaded a couple of opponents and still able to get his kick with depth towards Carey.
No wind advantage here at the G today. Not a bad crowd. Punch from behind by Shaw. Kick by Scott. Up to the front of goal. The marker's there for North Melbourne.
That's Simpson, Pete. Adam Simpson. Yes. Good mark. Just timed his run very, very well. And again, the North Melbourne players at the front of the pack, when the ball is brought forward, they're sitting right in front there and just cleared the ball away and set up this goal-scoring opportunity.
So a chance for the Roos to hit the front now for the first time today. Adam Simpson at point-blank range. Kicks truly and gets the goal.
Pretty basic stuff there by North, and that's their game plan. You keep it down the middle of the ground. If you're from behind, you punch forward. There's always going to be someone at the front of the pack. Again, that happened. Melbourne have got to realise that. Simple stuff. And there we see on this occasion, it was Rock before. This time it's Scott. Good jump there by Simpson too, and finished off well. Deserved goal.
And Dennis Pagan just looking on as Adam Simpson kicks his first goal. Just his 5th goal for the season. North Melbourne 3-1-19, Melbourne 2-2-14. And you're absolutely correct there, Roscoe, with Scholl, that disciplined punch from behind North Melbourne. Play it pretty simple. Out wide, here's Harvey. Great burst of speed, gets the ball across to Shannon Grant. Inside 50. This could bounce across the face of goals. And over the line for a boundary throw-in.
KB, you talk about the basic fundamentals of footy with punching from behind, but considering the amount of rain we had for about 15 minutes before the start of the game, those 2 excellent marks, one of Scholl at centre half back and also Simpson's up in the goal squares. Excellent skills for these conditions.
North Melbourne by 5 points, a big chance. Boundary throw in the forward pocket. Steins to the front of the pack. Then does his own roving, feeds it out to Seacamp, who just hands it across to Tingay. So Melbourne, for the time being, out of trouble. Kicks the ball wide, looking for space. But North Melbourne with the runners. Taken away by Stevens. Thumps the ball back to 50. And there's Wayne Carey. A bad call. Maybe Carey was smart, but he's taken an easy chest mark.
Well, it's hard to tell from there, Kobe. It looks as if he did call them out because the 3 Melbourne players all sat off it.
Well, he's a magnificent player, Wayne Carey. He's already kicked a goal in this first term. He's coming off a 5-goal haul against the West Coast Eagles. Stands a big thumping kick. He's got it.
And that's where he's so dangerous. He can take the ball outside 50. The team knows he's going to have a ping for goal. He is a very accurate kick from 55, even within 60. And he's so able to assert his authority on a game. And again, North Melbourne with the numbers. This time Stevens. And there it is, the 3 Melbourne players. Yep, someone yells out mine or what have you. If you're in the box seat, forget the call, you go for it.
Probably the oldest trick in the book, but Wayne Carey got away with it. Mark and goal. Harvey again, he's been busy. McDonald tries to shuffle it out, only gets it as far as Pike. Pike's kick, awkward half volley for Carey. Shannon Grant, onto Bell, onto Roberts. The refrigerator kicks long, right on 50, but kicks it accurately and brings up only 1 flag to Mark Roberts, who missed the first part of the season through injury. Good to see him coming back at the business end of proceedings. 4-2 to 2-2. He's past the halfway mark of the quarter. Vital game for Melbourne, this one. They are currently in 8th place on the ladder, but with a very poor percentage. If they lose today, could be out of the finals race, depending on what happens tomorrow between St Kilda and Essendon. Kick comes up to Tingay, so they must win.
That's great play by Tingay, Pete. First to take the mark and then to get on quickly as he knew Steins was free inside 50 and found his target.
Nice try, Jim. Brownlow medalist of 91, 2 All-Australian, 4 Best and Fairest awards. Not much Jimmy hasn't done except played in the premiership side.
And he didn't pass it to Jeff Farmer then, and Jeff let him know. Another opportunity.
He will now, and has done, but Farmer on a pretty acute angle. What did he say then? Can you lip read?
Thank you, I think.
That's what you should have done the first time, I think he said.
He's a pretty cheeky boy, Jeff Farmer, I'd reckon. Now, distance not a problem for him from there. He kicks and hits the post.
Just Roscoe, on that point of Jeff Farmer leading out, it's all about timing. You would know that you've really got to wait for the person with the footy to
Correct,
be ready
to get back in time. That's right, Russ.
Exactly.
Yep.
So I think Steins might have been a bit unbalanced.
11 points the margin. David King does the kicking in for North Melbourne. Kicks long, really long to the outer side. Blakey couldn't complete the mark. Woden hit the deck, and it's going to be a ball up on centre wing.
Also, Roscoe, just another point on Jim Steins. Neil Danaher was criticised for playing him in centre-half forward against Geelong about 5 or 6 weeks ago when they actually got towelled. What are your thoughts on that today?
Well, I don't think it's a bad idea. I mean, who else have they got to play? Their line can't handle that on a regular basis. They prefer to have Neitz up in the square, so he's basically the only other option.
North Melbourne by 11 points. Steins certainly got his hands on the ball, been sharked by Stevens. Tumbles the ball back inside the centre square line versus Mighty Mick. White does the crumbing, kicks the ball wide, looking for Robertson. A very handy player, a dangerous player. Kicked 10 goals for the season. That's a wonderful kick to Neitz. So David Neitz, 3 goals last week in his comeback game, was given a spell on the bench as well. And probably that's one of the reasons why maybe not out at centre-half forward, because he's missed so much football
That's
as
right,
well,
Kobe.
Roscoe.
Yep. You can't afford to push him too hard too early.
Was injured in round 4, and it made his comeback in round 16.
Just an interesting point too, Russell mentioned before, it looks like Gary Lyons playing down alongside Carey just to try and block him up a bit.
So Neitz from 45 metres is trying to bend it back. He's off target and through for a behind.
Yeah, Lyons definitely down there at, in a centre-half back area. Mickey Martin's down there with him, but they must be trying to just crowd Carey at the moment, who's dominating in that area.
Margin back to 10 points. David Neitz with his first goal today, bringing up his career 150th. This is Rock, as we mentioned earlier, running into a little bit of form last week and today. Back to Pike, back to Rock as they work it around centre wing. Kicks to Martin, courageous mark taken by Mick at left half forward. Kick and a half to goal from there. Carey makes a point where he wants the ball delivered. Drops a little bit short for the King. Couldn't complete that. Rigoni, chance. White looks for the hand pass, intended perhaps for Cowell. Viney's kick, was he out of bounds? No, it's okay. Not from a Melbourne point of view, because the mark's been taken by Corey McCurden. Again out in front of goal. Carey, the target, has to beat two. Matthew Phoebe. Crowd yells out for holding the ball. The umpire lets it go. Woden, after a little chip shot, he'll go for the boundary line and gets it in the left forward pocket for North Melbourne.
Just a couple of times there, I thought McKernan could have gone short just to break the play up. He went long for Carey again, who's surrounded by 3 or 4. We know he's an outstanding mark, but you're putting a lot of pressure on the fellow there. They could have gone short and just gone over the lines.
Roberts got taken high. Going to be a North Melbourne free kick it is. It's to Jeff White. Jeff White in the back pocket.
Didn't see much in that, Pete.
No, well, I didn't either. I thought it was going the other way. But anyway, they're closer than we are. Hewitt. Not a great kick. Rigoni. Hewitt again. So kick to kick. And Hewitt has the chance to put North Melbourne deep into attack. Gets a call from the umpire to play on. McKernan nearly. Couldn't quite drag it down. Chance for Simpson. Hand pass not bad. Carey off the ground. Goals.
That's just good team play, Pete. That's all it is, just to keep the ball alive and push it through out of the congestion. And this time Simpson, as you called, just got the ball out, and Carey had the presence of mind not to pick the ball up, knew he's under pressure. And whilst the ball was awkwardly bouncing on the ground, as we just see the original free kick here, that was against McKernan for White, over the shoulder a little. And here we see Simpson just push that ball forward and Carey off the ground.
Wayne Carey, a major problem, 3 goals in the first quarter.
And Gary Lyon is definitely down there at the moment as a spare man in defence to help out Ingerson.
So there's the ex-Melbourne skipper, one of their great players, Gary Lyon, just hovering around in defence. McKernan has done some nice things already. Looks like he might be finding some of his best form. Harvey gives the ball back to Rock. So they work hard, midfield goes wide and finds John Blakey. Again, North Melbourne always move the ball quickly and kick it long inside 50. Big pack of players. Here's Carey at the back of the pack. He's got it, lost it, has a fresh air shot. Melbourne forced the ball over the line for a boundary throw in.
Listen, the North players have to be aware that with Lyon going back, there's a spare player, which is... sorry, Kobe, it was a point. With Lyon going back there, Scholes, the player who's free, so there's another target for them up forward.
So that was rushed through by the Demons. I'm not quite certain whether North Melbourne's the best side in the competition, but I think they've got the best style of play. They're always putting the ball 15, 20 metres out from goal, which puts a lot of pressure on the opposition. Here's Stephen Phoebe. The tackler was Harvey. Goes wide to Tingay. A look-away hand pass to Woden. So the Demons carry the ball up towards the half-forward line. Shaky old kick off the boot. Mick Martin stood his ground. Neitz came over the top. Chance kicked off the ground by Farmer. Mighty Mick first to his feet. Doesn't muck around. Just belts the ball back over the line for a throw in some 25 metres around from Melbourne's goal. Fantastic player, Mick Martin. Gives very little away as Jimmy Steins takes a bit of a breather on the bench. So 25, 30 metres around from Melbourne's goal. Martin in the ruck against Nees had a fresh air shot. Going to ground was Byron Pickett. Being legged was Matthew Phoebe. No free kick. They pile on top. Let's go to the fourth umpire on that one.
I think the reason there was no free kick, KB, was the tackle was originally above the knee, and as both players moved, then the tackle slid down. We'll see, hopefully, the tackle, almost around the hips of Matthew Phoebe, and then ends up a little bit low, so I think that's reasonable. Yep, not a problem.
Martin punches. McDonald. Marking contest right next to the behind post. Really, Smith just on the ground.
Really skewed his chin on the top of the point post. He got that high.
This is a great jump.
Look at this. Farmer in front of him. He just sat there again. A la the Brisbane game last year.
Would have been a beauty if he'd kept that one. Martin. Again punches to the front. Scott. Kicks over the head of Leon Cherry. Not a long kick. McKernan put up the big mitt. Rigoni missed it, so too did Viney. It's a pretty tough ball. Finally, the kick away came from McKernan. Roberts at centre wing. North Melbourne's forward line pretty open. Over the top was Simpson.
Free kick for mark interference and advantage called for Melbourne, Pete.
Uze took that, gets it out to Gary Lyon. Melbourne with numbers. Stevens comes at him. They play the old 1-2. Back to McDonald. Matthew Phoebe it is at left half forward. Harvey chases. Martin on his own.
Good closing pressure too by Harvey to make the chase from about 40 metres away. It's all the pressure you need.
Scholl. Roberts the target. Doesn't let him down. Harvey. Harvey kicks towards centre half forward. Ingerson in front, nearly. Yes, he's been paid the mark. Tingo, one of Melbourne's best so far in the first quarter. Then he runs into the umpire. Brings it out wide. That's okay. Shane Woden, one of the candidates for goal of the year earlier in the season, was an absolute beauty here at the MCG. Seacamp. Neats with Martin. Pickett got taken down in that tackle. Scott had it, lost it. Pike went through pretty solidly. It's going to be a North Melbourne free kick.
I'm interested because I'd like to know how Scotty got rid of the footy, because he certainly had it for a moment. He didn't kick it or handball it.
Fair enough. Kicks it to Roberts. Now on to Blakey, streaming out of defensive right halfback.
So the veteran, keen to take a bounce. Then again for North Melbourne. Kicks the ball long, Carey pushing and shoving, and there's Ingerson again playing in front. Takes another strong mark. Some rebound football by Melbourne to Viney. Quick hands across to Phoebe, who kicks the ball down towards the half-forward line. He was looking for Robertson, and chipping in was King. So the North Melbourne defence standing up. Martin's been prominent, as has Scholl and also King. They lead 33-16. Under a minute left in this opening term as King pumps the ball back towards the half-forward line. McKernan stands his ground in front of the pack. White was the high flyer. The crummer was Seacamp. A few touches also in this first term. Loose ball again. Feeds the ball off to Harvey, who's a danger player. Goes short. Great kick to Simpson.
Well, Kev, I think you said it before, he has been very good in this opening quarter, and he's just been a bit flat in the last few weeks, so he looks sharp, and he's got a bit of the footy, young Brent Harvey.
Well, he's had 7 possessions. He's also kicked a goal, as has this man, Adam Simpson, 45 metres out. This trusty left boot, this time off target, and through for a minor score. So 34 plays 16, an 18-point lead to North Melbourne.
Simpson's kick 1 goal 1, and he had a hand at another one of Wayne Carey's when he got it to Carey in front, well, pretty well in the goal square. Last few seconds of the first quarter. Timothy, in fact, that is it for the end of the first term. No further scoring. Melbourne got the first goal, but North Melbourne came back well, and certainly aided by the man in the middle of picture there, Wayne Carey. He finished up with 3 goals, as he did in the second quarter last week at Subiaco when he took West Coast apart.
In anyone with a bigger leap than Sean Smith. What do you think, John?
He's amazing. I mean, he's done it so many times now. It's obviously a real talent that he has.
We start the second quarter. 3 goals the difference in favour of North Melbourne. Going to the right of screen. Abraham. Up towards full forward. Umpire lets it go. Woden now with a short sleeve jumper. Back to Tingay. He started with long sleeves. Matthew Phoebe got the mitt up. Oh, Smith goes down. That's his second knock today. And Corey McKernan isn't too good after that clash as well. Play in the meantime, comes up towards full forward, and that's a rush behind. But those two players looking very, very groggy. Smith and Corey McKernan, after that clash, they're both seeing stars. Oh, clash of heads, wasn't it?
Last thing Sean Smith needed after that fall from that mark attempt as well.
He spent most of the first quarter on the bench. He's come on, and a really big leap by Sean Smith late in the term. He's going to come off, I think. Looks very, very groggy. David King will kick in for North Melbourne. Kicks to the outer side. A little bit of a nudge there from Hewitt. The umpire lets it go. Harvey. Gary Lyon on his own. 7 years as Melbourne captain. Todd Viney, of course, now leading the side. Leoncelli. Out to Shane Woden at right half forward. 65 to 70 metres out from goal. Neats and Martin Neats, good mark.
Well, he just wanted that front position, Pete, when the ball comes in like that and then starts to drop. Mick Martin didn't have a chance there to make contact on the ball, as we see Sean Smith on the bench just having his jaw checked out. Hopefully he's okay. Bit of a smirk there, but Corey McKernan, he looks all right at the moment. But a good mark here by Neitz, as you see the great angle shot we have there. And Mick Martin couldn't get contact on the ball, and nor did he try and come across the arms of Neitz to try and effect a spoil.
David Neitz has kicked 1 goal 2 today. Got Melbourne's second goal in the first quarter. Jeff Farmer kicked there first. That's the angle that he faces. That looks pretty good. Straight through the centre. He's got his second.
Well, I think that for the moment, as Kev said in the first quarter, is his position until he finds some genuine fitness. Just to have him in the goal square as a target is important. Gary Lyon playing up on the half-forward line at the moment. And we might see the Smith-McKernan incident again, as we do. Just a clash of heads.
Two goals to David Neitz. Drags it back to 11-point ball game. McKernan has recovered in the ruck, beaten that time by White. With the ball was Viney, tried to fend off his opponent. Stevens with a wild hand pass to Rock, who's been very good. Kicks the ball high back towards centre half forward. Here comes Carey out in front with Ingerson. The ball lands in front on hands and knees. Stephen Phoebe also has had a good game. Carey looked for the free kick back to Simpson. Around the corner, trying to bend it back. And he's off target.
In Melbourne now effectively have Gary Lyon at centre half forward. He's now been picked up by Craig Scholl.
So Adam Simpson on screen, kicked a goal in the first quarter, being picked up by Adam Uze. So Stephen Phoebe to bring the ball back for the Demons, kicks the ball wide to his brother in Matthew, who tries to drill it down towards McDonald, who was pulled off the ball by Byron Pickett.
Paid very late, KB, but nevertheless paid. Byron Pickett complaining, but no doubt at all here he grabs without the footy.
Might have been the roar of the crowd.
Johnny, I think a bit of a help with the Melbourne smokers stand here as well.
Yeah, it certainly seemed late, didn't it, Russ?
The roar did go up. McKernan looks to be getting back to something like his best form. Fine Hewitt, the youngster from WA, from the edge of the centre square, stands and delivers a big bomb back towards Wayne Carey. Just bombing into Wayne Carey at the moment. He's got 2 to beat every time. He's already booted 3 goals. Here's a chance for the excitement machine. Rockets the ball to Shannon Grant, who is a goal kicker. Yes, he's got it.
Well, I'm not sure he intended to kick the ball along the ground like that. He certainly intended to keep the ball low because the goal square was open, but it came off the boot awkwardly. Nevertheless, very effectively at that. But again, North in kicking long to Carey. Ingerson, the intelligent punch towards the boundary line. Regoni was the first player in there, but now, was he interfered with, John, perhaps?
Well, I didn't think he was held. I thought, if anything, he was pushed.
Yeah. And here's the inside Torb.
Is that what it was?
Very effective, yes. Unintentional.
Ross Glendinning described it as an inside torp.
Oh, they practice those kicks these days, Peter.
Yeah, Reed Grubber. Reed goal. He's kicked 2. I don't care how they get them. Viney, Cowell. Look for Stephen Phoebe. White was perhaps closest. Kick away from King, travels about 35 metres. Roberts from behind, 1 juggle, 2 juggle, not paid by the umpire. Flipped up to Shannon Grant, clear of Uze, straight onto the chest of Carey. Great footy.
Yes, lucky there, Roberts, to get away with it from behind. He tried to mark with the North game plan. It definitely as if you're behind to push forward and spoil, but he managed to control the footy. And then Ingerson thought the ball was going to go over his head. The shot for goal left Carey alone. This is what results.
3 goals in the first quarter to Wayne Carey to bring his career tally to 458. Look as though he's added 1 more to it. 4 for the day. Well, how do you stop this man?
Well, I thought Ingerson did fight back. I said at quarter time, Pete, in the last 5 or 6 minutes of the first quarter, he took a couple of marks and just maintained his composure. I mean, he could have been pretty on down on confidence. And here we just see Roberts from behind. Shanahan couldn't quite hold on to it. Quick hands. And then Shannon Grant looked as if he was going to kick long. Ingerson conceded that he was going to, allowed Carey to go short and in front. And he kicked the goal. As Pete said, that's his 4th.
Shannon Grant's also been a terrific pickup, that deal with Wayne Swash, but he's been one of North Melbourne's best this year. He's kicked 27 goals, 6, so just about the most accurate kick in AFL football. Cow thrown to the ground. Crunched was Woden. Look at Grant pile in on top, along there with Martin Pike. And at the bottom of the pack,
Woden.
Shane Woden. There we see Peter Bell, who won the Graham Moss medal, on the interchange there, along with Chandler. Just warming up. Johnny Longmire there, and Crocker as well. So North Melbourne, some good players on the interchange bench. So too high, taken away by Winston Abraham. Kicks the ball down. Carey playing in front this time. Inglis unable to spoil. So the ball goes over the line and they'll toss it back in.
Not sure there's too many options for Melbourne to play on Wayne Carey either. Shanahan certainly in size is okay, but mobility is lacking. So Ingerson, I think they'll just have to persevere with him.
Contest here with Carey and wins it. Oh, out of bounds on the fall from Steve Tingay.
He intended to try and run that along the boundary, Pete, but just set it up too high, obviously.
Anthony Rock takes the free kick. Guess who he's got it to?
I would think Shanahan is worth a try. If he does kick this, it's 5 goals, and that's a long way to come back for young Ingerson if you got 5 goals kicked on you early in the second quarter. And Shanahan is one of those full-backs who doesn't look like getting a possession. He just plays the percentages, and that's his role.
Depends on the coach's philosophy too, KB, if he's prepared to give the player a chance to get back and try and square the ledger there, or he says, well, if I take him off, where do I go from there? Where do we put the player and who do we make the change with? But certainly Shanahan's not a bad option.
Fairly tight angle. So Carey decides to improve upon it. Runs around, kicks, and kicks it behind. So his first miss of the day, 4 goals won to the North Melbourne superstar. 7-6 to 3-5 as we have 15 minutes left in the half. Stephen Phoebe to kick in. Interesting show, don't know whether you caught it during the week on Channel 7 about twins. And the Phoebes figured prominently there. Crowd looking for a free kick to McDonald.
And got it. Yep.
McDonald at left half back.
Clearly held when the ball's on the way to that contest. So free kick against Johnny Blakey.
Gives it up to Rigoni. Rigoni from left half back. Matthew Phoebe. Tingay. Kicks off a step, well inside 50. Courage needed there. Scott had plenty. Over to Pike. Had to back pedal for a couple of steps. Slightly centering kick. Tingay, good mark. Plays on, kicks around Harvey. Loose ball at half forward. Anderson from Farmer. Farmer, who kicked Melbourne's first goal today. A little give. The kick comes up towards McDonald, who takes the mark.
He's off.
Oh, he's off.
I thought he was.
Well, it's either got to be play on or it's got to be a 50-metre penalty. It can't resume where it started out because the North Melbourne players, I think it was David King, we actually see him attempt to play the ball other than over his mark. That is play on, not seen by the umpire. David King runs in because he's expected a play on call. If David King was wrong, then it's a 50-metre penalty. If David King was right, then it's play on.
Fair enough. James McDonald with the kick from 45 metres is usually a pretty good sort of a kick. What's he done with this one? One behind only.
Well, I'd suggest the umpire in that situation, lucky that wasn't behind, it wasn't a goal conceded, because you're right, John, he did take a step across his mark.
Once he attempts to play other than over his mark, that is play on.
Yep.
And David King is aware of that, so ran at him, and unfortunately the ledger was squared.
Just simply a wrong decision. Mighty Mick Martin just kicks the ball down, looking for Carey with body work. Couldn't take it on this occasion. Abraham, the crummer, kicks the ball long. He's been forced back over the line.
KB, I think Jamie Shanahan has moved on to Carey now.
Thanks, Fly. We're just about to mention that. Yep.
And of course, the way North Melbourne play Wayne Carey playing from the goal square, they give him plenty of space, and you need someone who's probably had the experience of playing under those conditions, and Shanahan has done that right throughout his career. And we can see here that round 2 this season, Melbourne won by 25 points, an upset win that day, but they have won 2 out of the last 3 encounters against North Melbourne. Woden from the half-back flank. Kicks down towards the centre wing. Neitz takes the front position. Scholl with body work brings the ball to the back of the pack. Kicked off the ground by Todd Viney. The spirit here is King. He's got him. Loose ball. Grant feeds it back off to Mighty Mick. Loses it. Neitz tries to paddle the ball on, but the ball's coming back.
And David King will take the kick, KB, because Todd Viney's certainly unhappy with the fact that that tackle was laid as he was ran down, and dished out a little bit of treatment to David King, and umpires onto it. Fantastic tackle by David King. Goes sideways so he doesn't propel him forwards.
Exactly, which a lot of tackles these days shouldn't come from behind.
That's right.
And they are in the back.
That's right.
Yep.
And, but David King was good enough then to turn Toddy Viney sideways.
Which isn't easy, by the way.
And finds Pike. Started his career with Melbourne. Kicks the ball down. There's Winston Abraham, the high flyer, couldn't take the grab. Quick hands came out from Rock. North Melbourne continue to force the ball forward. Chance for McDonald, edge of the centre square, wants to take him on, gets around, runs smack bang into Corey McKernan. Did well to smother the ball. The turnover. Pickett to Rock. So North Melbourne set up the loose player to Grant. Front edge of the centre square. He's going to look for Carey. Here comes the King. Drops a sitter. Shanahan does the shepherding. Then wins it at ground level. Back to Cow. Can't handle it. Tumbles over the line for a boundary throw-in.
Just Roscoe, just looking from the boundary, Melbourne just looked totally shell-shocked from the pressure applied around the packs, and also the numbers that North Melbourne have around the ball. So they really need to build on that, Melbourne, if they've got to get back into this game.
Just on looking at that again, it didn't really look as though Todd Viney did all that much to David King, but nevertheless the free kick paid.
Gee, Rock was dragged off it there, didn't seem to have it. The umpire let it go. Viney will get a free kick here, you'd reckon, for a push in the back, and he will, the Melbourne captain.
And a 50-metre penalty will be paid.
Yes, he can't play on now. So that will bring him up to about the 50-metre mark and within kicking distance.
I think the free kick was the 50-metre penalty is paid because of somebody running between the man on the mark. And,
yeah, I can't help you there, John. I didn't see. I was watching McKernan and White.
It certainly seemed as though that was the signal given by the umpire that somebody, a North Melbourne player, had passed between the mark and the player with the footy.
24 points the margin. Todd Viney can bring it back to 3 goals, which is what it was at quarter time if he can kick this directly in front. Right on 50. Not bad, he's got it.
What's the one they want, just to get them just a bit of momentum. As Russell said, they've gone pretty flat, and no one looked like being a spark for them up forward outside of Neitz. So that 50-metre penalty very much in their favour. But John, I think you're right. We have to assume that someone has just gone across the mark.
I think it's against Byron. Yeah, that's the one not paid.
Yeah.
I think it might have been against Byron Pickett, Roscoe.
Okay.
Five kicks to Todd Viney, and that's his first goal of the day. The difference back to 18 points here at the MCG as we approach the halfway mark of the second quarter. McKernan loses that one out. Abraham puts North into attack. Carey again leading them all, a merry dance, this time marking in front of Jamie Shanahan.
But also, Peter, it's the ease of which North Melbourne are getting it out of the middle. Like, there wasn't a lot of pressure on the midfield then, moving it down, allowing Carey to move into space. An open forward line, as Ross would know, makes it a lot easier for a centre forward or a full forward to move into space and take an easy chest mark.
For his 460th career goal. And the difference again back to 4 goals here at the MCG. Carey kicks and I believe misses. The goal umpire indicates 1 behind only. 4 goals, 2 today to Wayne Carey.
So important that midfield, because if Wayne Carey's got plenty of space and the midfield's winning the ball easily, well then it's going to be very hard for Shanahan or Ingerson or anyone else who wants to play on him. Stephen Phoebe from the half-back line kicks the ball out in front. It's a good kick to his brother in Matthew. So he's on centre wing. The lead from Viney was ignored, so Phoebe elects to kick the ball back to a loose player in North Melbourne and finds John Blakey. So Chandler has just come onto the field. Anderson off for North Melbourne. Blakey, the veteran who played his first game for Victoria this year at 30 years of age. Down towards Carey again, thumped away at ground level, pounced on by McDonald. Phoebe feigned the hand pass, comes back onto the trusty left boot, kicks inside 50, Neitz the high flyer, big fist away at ground level. They need a crummer. Standing ground was Blakey. Great interception that time.
Ooh.
Here's a chance. McDonald driven into the ground.
They're the ones that Roscoe was talking about, KB, where tackled from behind, really buried McDonald, and yet not rewarded with a free kick. And we've now got a field bounce. We see McDonald tackled from behind here.
And high.
There, and just absolutely buried, and no free kick.
So a chance for the Demons. Ball inside 50. Again, McDonald tried to feed the ball out. McKernan with quick hands. Couldn't hit a mark. Stevens under pressure. Back to Chandler, just on the ground. Kicks the ball wide. It opens up here for Hewitt. Just needs a kind bounce. Neats trying to apply the pressure. Hewitt stands his ground, just thumps the ball back towards the centre wing, where Tingay's had a terrific game so far, taken by Ingerson. Rockets the ball back to Cow. The Demons come forward. Here's a chance. Lyon in the box here. There's a great mark to the Wizards. Got it. Ooh. Great hands across. Matthew Phoebe runs in and bangs it through.
Well, had it come off, there would have been a free kick to Jeff Farmer, I suggest too, John, wouldn't there?
Well, there's no whistle, Roscoe, and I'd say that's why there's a bit of aggro in it now, because Jeff Farmer knows that that free kick wasn't acknowledged when he was tackled high by David King after he handballs the ball over the top, and then King grabs him high, and there was no whistle on that. So if the goal had been missed, there wouldn't have been a free kick to Farmer. So I'd say that's why Jeff Farmer was very upset about the contact not being rewarded.
Seven kicks to Matthew Phoebe and his first goal. Jeff Farmer probably could have got a free kick, but it doesn't matter now. Melbourne still got the goal. McDonald, flung to the ground by Corey McCurdy. The umpire lets it go. Chance for Stevens. Quickly off the left. Kicks well inside 50. Seacamp. Cowell. Ingerson. Ingerson right on his own defensive 50-metre line. Kicks long to the centre wing. Punch away by Martin Pike. James McDonald on the bottom of the pack. There's going to be a ball up on centre wing.
Peter, while we're waiting for this ball up, I can just say I'm not really being critical of the umpires for not rewarding those tackles from behind as pushes in the back, because I think it's sort of crept into the game over the last 2 or 3 years as just an acceptable part of the game, and so now we see it happening more often.
Blakey's hand pass finds Winston Abraham. Shannon Grant quickly off the ground. Hewitt, 45 metres out, goes at goal, kicks a beauty. Quick reply to North Melbourne, and Hewitt brings up his first.
And he's certainly maturing as a player, as Evan Hewitt. He's given them another option. He can play forward, back. He played at centre-half back basically last week on Brendan Fuster, almost full back at one stage, can play on the ball. And his mobility just gives him another option. And with McKernan, Carey, that ilk of player, another mobile with Capuano on his way back as well with Johnny Longmire, it just gives him that mobile, tall player option, and very good at that.
Well, he's kicked 11 goals for the season, so he can be a goal kicker. He's a good size. We see the free kick here
against Jeff White to Corey McKernan for a very early leap by.
Well, he did it the previous centre bounce, but got his hands on the ball and really got it down well, but occasionally does leap a little bit too early.
The umpire will just try to determine whether it's realistic, KB.
McKernan finds Roberts, the fridge, front edge of the centre square. Slides the ball off his boot, and Ingerson dropping back. Takes an easy mark. So a transfer of play. Viney goes out wide to Woden. So it all opens up for Melbourne. Time for think music. Finds James McDonald. He's on centre wing. The loose player kicks now long down towards Gary Lyon. Out come Mighty Mick in front. Knocked to the ground. Martin Pike at the front of the pack. Under pressure. Kicks the ball back towards the centre wing. Good thump away by Rock. Good player game by Woden. Much improved player, Woden. He had a terrific season last year. He's played every game since he's been at Melbourne. Looking for Uze, bang! And Byron Pickett comes in hard as well. Down goes
Steve Tingay bumped very, very hard in the head, but not seen by the umpire. He's tackled and bumped it almost simultaneously. There's the tackle by David King. And there's the bump in the head by Byron Pickett, and no free kick.
He was certainly unloaded a couple of heavy bumps this year, Pickett. Viney under pressure, but the free kick's going to Melbourne to Jeff White. So a bit of feeling in this game as Travis Johnson comes on. Comes into the side, replacing Hopgood. White thumps the ball back inside 50. The high fly from behind is Blake. He's such a good player. He's been a marvellous player since coming across from Fitzroy.
He certainly has. And as you said, great to see him rewarded with the state jumper this year. Abraham, pass intended for Scott, but it's gone astray. Rigoni back to Farmer. A grubber up to Gary Lyon. Martin right behind him. Can the D's make something of this? Rigoni taken out by King. Certainly some feeling in the game now. King a chance to paddle it wide. Couldn't quite clear the zone with that one. That is going to be a ball up just outside 50.
Just a quick one for Ross Glendinning. We talk about Glenn Archer being a pretty tough man in the back line for North. What about David King? Doesn't he throw himself in? What about Stephen?
He does.
Stephen Tingay's currently feeling that at the moment, Roscoe. Look at that. Oh, that's Byron Pickett's pretty tough too. But
well, that's outside the rules, by the way, too. Should have been a free kick. You cannot do that. That's a charge, and also took him high. That should have been penalised.
That's for sure.
Cannot do that, I'm afraid.
Yeah, we'll check that out at the moment. We'll see how he's feeling, but not looking too crash.
No, he's not. Viney taken down on the tackle. Subsequently, the ball jarred free. Scott tries to get a hand pass away. Pickett was there again. Rock. 20-metre hand pass for Pike. Good shepherd by Hewitt. Pike right on the boundary line. Kicks long to a contest. Shanahan and Carey. A little bit of holding by both. The umpire sensibly lets it go. Carey wins the contest. Beats two of them. Terrific stuff. Carey's kick just out in front of goal. Chance for North Melbourne here. Chandler, if he can pick the ball up. He's pressured by two Melbourne players. Beats both of them. Great hand pass. Gets it back again. Chandler, the hand pass came from Simpson. The kick out in front of goal. A marking contest. It's gone through for one behind. Behind to North Melbourne to make the difference now. Again, 20 points. Chandler starting on the bench. Some terrific play there. 8-8 to 5-6. Under 6 minutes remaining in the half.
I might just say, if I can, with Byron Pickett, I admired his play this year. He's been a very fine player, but I just think he's just bordering at the moment on making too much contact, and sometimes it's borderline whether it should be penalised or not. He's just got to be very careful in that area.
Thanks for that, Roscoe. Woden, as we said, a greatly improved player this year. On to McDonald. McDonald, Gary Lyon, courageous mark. Blakey was there, Martin was right behind him, and Gary Lyon didn't let his side down. Gets up a little bit gingerly too.
Important kick, Pete. He's made all the effort to get there, and he can kick from this distance. We've seen him do it before. It'll be probably just on 50.
Has had chronic back problems. 21 goals so far this year by the ex-captain, skipper for 7 years before Todd Viney took over at the start of 98. Lyon from right on 50, touch and go situation, right over the hat of the goal umpire for full points.
Yes, the man is a champion, no question about that. Under duress, as Pete mentioned, for a couple of years, and still to present himself. As we mentioned, the opener, he kicked 4 last week. It was a key forward there. Doesn't need a lot of the footy when he gets in that distance or closer to goal. You just got to give him enough opportunities to get the ball like that. Extended himself here. Clever play. Kept Martin out of it. Had John Blakey in 2 minds. He probably could have gone in there and presented himself, but Lyon the play to cap it off. Well played.
The Demons drag it back to 14 points. They're hard to shake off. Just under 5 minutes left. Again, White jumped early on McKernan. Trying to come through was Liam Chelly. Under pressure, Woden just thumps the ball back towards centre half forward. Standing his ground was King. Here's the Wizards' help. No free kick. Melbourne supporters upset. Scholl weaves his way out of trouble. Kicks back towards the edge of the centre square. Hitting the ball hard was Abraham. Great hands by Rigoni. Comes away from Melbourne. Kicks the ball wide. That's a wonderful kick. Great vision. And each drops a sitter. Can feed the ball off from inside 50 to the goal square. Gary Lyon backing back. Thought he had it. Lost it. Here's the Wizard once more. Farmer twisting and turning 25 metres out. Over the shoulder. Comes off hands. And finally forced over the line for a boundary throw in.
Terrific chase and smothered by Martin.
Correct, Pete. Took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah, it doesn't look as though Farmer actually takes possession of the ball here, and clearly tackled by Scotty and not paid to Farmer as holding the man. I'd suggest maybe it should have been.
So a chance for Melbourne. Neitz tries to take it out of mid-air. Taken away by Scholl.
David's
free kick.
Scott held.
This is really the difficult area then, John. I mean, they don't pay the Farmer one, and now they pay that one.
Yep.
There's not much difference.
Short to Bell. Keen to keep it moving. Back to Stevens. A casual bounce. Kicks back to the centre square. Looking for Winston Abraham, the high fly. Carey's there as well. Punched on by Shanahan, a loose ball. Trying to come through hard. That looks like it was King. Couldn't take it. Uze. What a season he's had. This is another wonderful kick out wide to Matthew Phoebe. It all opens up for Melbourne. Kicks long to the square. This is a wonderful kick. Gary Lyon backing back. He's got it.
Oh.
So it was a bit happening in the middle of the ground too with Shannon Grant and Uze. The umpire's in there to look at that, but Gary Lyon, we've said it before, just a mark of an out-and-out champion, this fellow, just to limited opportunities, and should kick his second for the quarter.
This to bring Melbourne to within 8 points. Gary Lyon from right in front kicks a goal.
Well, they've rallied really well, Melbourne. As Russell said at the start of this quarter, or 5 minutes into the quarter, they certainly look very flat, as if North were going to run away with it. North have had their opportunities to score, just been a little bit inaccurate. And Melbourne have just steadied and persisted, something they've done all year under Neil Danaher. And here, Gary Lyon just making sure, he wasn't sure the ball might have carried through, wanted to make sure he didn't touch it over the line, did the right thing.
Gary Lyon gets his second goal for the quarter. It's a real contest here now. McCurden, who's probably got a little bit of a headache after that clash with Sean Smith earlier. Woden. Johnston, first touch for the day. Late inclusion in the side. Good tackle, Harvey. Pickett brushes Matthew Phoebe. King a chance at midfield. Shepherd by Stevens. King to half forward. Over the head of Hewitt. Ingerson, hand pass blocked. Chance for Harvey again. Snap at goal. Will it get there? I don't think it's been touched by Shanahan, has it? No, it's a goal. Again, a quick reply. That's his first.
Yes, and that's the sort of goal he provided in the earlier part of the season. He's just struggled with at the moment, but no question he's been a very good player for the club this year. That's his 24th for the season. And as an on-baller type player, that's what he's there to provide at that end of the ground. And King just helped set that up. Just carried Blakey a little bit, but the contest in there in numbers. And Harvey, it's a clever goal. Shanahan a bit stiff, great effort, couldn't quite get a hand on it.
Again, North Melbourne by 14 points. They led by 18 points at quarter time. White against McKernan. Finally tried to crash his way through. Cop one. Edge of the centre square. Thump forward by Seacamp, taken by Blakey. Tried to find Simpson, loose ball. McKernan stands and delivers. Again, a wobbles the kick inside the forward pocket. And we see there Hewitt. And Ingerson sees the ball over the line for a boundary throw-in.
Sometimes KB when you... Sorry.
And Roberts on the bench along with Anthony Rock having a spell.
Just with those standard liver type kicks, they are better off players, even though they might not get the same distance, to try and get a drop punt up and away. Getting a Torby like that is just so difficult to kick.
Shanahan got the ball down. It was taken by Bell.
Free kick paid to Melbourne. Didn't see the signal, KB.
Being held.
So Adamuze will take the free kick. And a transfer of play wide. Now this could be dangerous. Bell in hot pursuit. He's got Seacamp. Making good ground was Stephen Phoebe and Marks in front of Chandler. Still on the half-back flank for Melbourne. North lead 62-48. Goes short. Finds Guy Rigoni. So the man from Myrtleford. Big impression in AFL football this year. Kicks long. Gets great distance. A lot of pushing and shoving down inside 50. Mighty Mick Martin's there as well. Bottom of the pack is Todd Viney. Scott over the top.
I think
an
important thing for Melbourne so far, they've presented themselves across that half-forward line. I think earlier in the quarter, the half-backs from North Melbourne were allowed to run off too easily. And now, just an example there, instead of North Melbourne half-backs running out of weight, a bounce.
Steve Tingo looking the worse for wear after that heavy clash right on the boundary line. He'll have a bit of a headache, I think, for a while. There's the man that gave it to him. Pickett to Scott. Anderson. Oh, Shanahan might have been held. In fact, I think it was an advantage, Jack, wasn't it?
That's right, Peter, yes.
Uze kicks to centre half forward. Stevens, Pickett, nearly taken down by McDonald. The football is jarred free in the tackle. Johnston overruns it. Late inclusion for Hopgood today. Matthew Phoebe kicks off the left out towards half forward. A few of them lost sight of it all. Martin's been spread eagled by McKernan. That's the second collision he's been involved in today, and they both look butchers.
I'll tell you what, Peter, I think there's a few times this year where Corey McKernan's gone back into a situation like that where really he's made it very difficult for himself to get to the football in the first place and has left himself very open when he goes back like that. And on this occasion, probably not really necessary to go that way. And that's where he finished up. Fortunately, landed on Mick, because Mick could probably handle it. No one else, everyone else would have been absolutely smashed.
Stevens to Carey.
Sorry, Mick.
Well, they have half time to recover. Carey trying to set something up. McDonald coming at him. He's gone out wide. Finds Stevens as the clock ticks down for half time. Can the Roos get another one before the bell? McCurden back up again. I think you could hurt him with a hammer in each hand, could you? Ingerson takes the mark. Seacamp. Maybe Melbourne can get another one before half time. Still about a minute to go. Todd Viney in front of Martin Pike. The runner was in the road there. Viney looking for options, and what better, presenting himself as Gary Lyon. There's the siren. Well, this is going to be a tester, isn't it?
It is. The last one he kicked from right on 50, Pete. His grounded foot was right on the 50-metre line, so he's now got to kick from probably 55.
Torp.
Looks like he's going to drop punt.
It's going to be close. No. And no score. So at half CG, 14 points is the margin in favour of North Melbourne. The Roos led by 18 at the first change. 9 goals kicked in the second quarter. White up high to beat McKernan. Knocked to the front by Cow. Chance for Rigoni. Now kicked up by Stephen Phoebe. Neats doesn't get a good bounce. Hewitt tries to tidy up. King through some fairly heavy traffic there in the goal square. Out to Stevens. Stevens off his own defensive 50-metre line. James McDonald, good use of the body and a good mark. Gives it away quickly to his skipper. Certainly won't lose him any votes. Viney's kick up towards Robertson. Back to McDonald. Neats. Again, good use of the body. Bit of experience there, Roscoe.
Yeah, no question about that. And I just thought the kick from Anthony Stevens coming off half-back, he kicked it pretty high for a smaller player who was his target in Anthony Rock, and it gave McDonald a chance. He took the mark. The ball now finishes back with Neats. It was a clever mark by the experienced player, and just showing how much value he really is to the Melbourne side up there.
So David Neats, about 35 metres out, directly in front. Be a real handy one for North. He's kicked 2 goals, 2 so far today for Melbourne. Make that 3 goals, 2. Great start by the D's in the second half.
Yes, exactly that, Pete. I'm sure Neil Danaher would have stressed, as we heard Glenn Lovett say, how important this game is to them, and so important it would be for them to start this third quarter in this fashion, and able to take full advantage of the kick coming out of defensive area by North to be marked by McDonald, and then it finishes up here. Hewitt just tries to find the body of Neats. In doing so, takes his eye off the footy, then loses control of where the ball is, and Neats ends up with the footy.
You've certainly got to admire David Neats. He was out for 13 weeks with that horrific break to the ankle. He's got plates and screws in it, and last week kicked 3 goals in his comeback game against Fremantle, and he's booted 3 goals against North Melbourne, the informed side of the competition, who have accounted for St Kilda, Essendon and West Coast in the last 3 weeks. We'll see Tingay on the interchange bench there with Travis Johnston. Tingay, very good player in the first half before leaving the field after that very heavy knock. So Melbourne keep throwing down the gauntlet to North Melbourne. This time thumped on, taken away by McDonald, around the corner, kicks the ball out wide. The race is on, looking for Robertson. He's got Pickett to beat, who was responsible for Tingay leaving the field. A heavy bump in that second term by Byron Pickett. And Robinson there also on screen. So Pickett, having such a tremendous season this year with North Melbourne, just played the 1 game last year, but this year he's been a key member of their defence. So North Melbourne second into attack this year in terms of points scored. Taken away by Matthew Phoebe, gets the ball back. Leoncelli thumps it inside 50, looking for Lynham, nearly took it on the second grab, couldn't take it, might have even been held. Byron Pickett played for the free kick, rockets the ball back to Bell, caught. Going to ground was Grant. They want a free kick. They've got it.
KB, just in relation to the Gary Lyon free kick, I really think Gary overplayed it. I don't think there was all that much physical contact by Mickey Martin, and I think Gary was trying to pinch a kick and unfortunately not rewarded. Now Gary Lyon's actually holding Mickey Martin's arm, yep. So he's not going around to... Well, it's not the right way to get a free kick by hanging onto the defender's arm.
And I thought that was pretty harsh, this free kick here, because the player's only just been dispossessed. I thought it should have been play on.
Yeah, Matthew Phoebe unloads a big bomb. He's got it.
Yeah, as you say, Roscoe, unless the player's had a prior opportunity, then when he's tackled, he obviously has, if he's had a prior opportunity, when he's tackled, he's got to kick it or handball it. In that situation, it really didn't look as though he had the ball for all that long before the tackle.
Yeah, we'll see it again, John. He's almost in the motion of going to dispose of it. The ball comes out, Pickett overplays it a bit too. Here we see Peterbilt offloads to Shannon Grant. He's about to kick the ball. To me, if the action of the tackle causes the ball to drop, it's play on.
I agree with you on that one, for sure.
Only 31 career goals to Matthew Phoebe, and 2 of those have been kicked today. The difference back to 2 points here early in the third quarter. Melbourne getting both the goals to start the term, so it really is a contest now. And North Melbourne will have to answer the challenge, and that kick landing just inside the boundary line. with 17 and a half minutes to go to three-quarter time.
Peter, we saw something similar last week with Melbourne played Freo. They were very sluggish up to half-time, but then after half-time they had the legs and they really got their system back in. So whatever Neil Danaher has at half-time or whatever he feeds them, if they bottle it, it'd be worth a lot.
White over the top of McKernan. Thanks for that fly. Shane Woden. And that's a woeful kick. That's out of bounds on the full, so it's going to be a North Melbourne ball to be taken by Darren Crocker, his first touch of the day. In fact, straight off the bench, gets into the action very quickly. Crocker, the veteran, to half forward. Kick from Shannon Grant, a goal kicker, and that one skids through for one behind. Kick by Shannon Grant, kicked a goal from that position in the first quarter. 2 goals, 1 against his name. That makes the difference 3 points. Good crowd here today for this match. Melbourne clinging on to 8th position. Percentage of just over 89%. So they are on shaky ground. The D's. Cowell to McDonald. Brother James on the side today. Getting plenty of advice from the crowd. Nothing much on offer. Decides to balk Harvey. Gets around the man on the mark. Maybe intended for Matthew Phoebe, but King's got it. Short of half forward. Long kick by King. James McDonald this time marks in the same position. His brother had the footy. He's a little bit quicker. In fact, looks for his brother, put him under the hammer there because Crocker was there. Matthew Phoebe taken that of the contest. Stevens off a step, long left foot snapshot, bounces just inside the line for a throw in next to the behind post.
I thought there might have been a free kick there to Melbourne for looked as if David King tripped a player.
Roberts, Ingerson set themselves for the throw in. Carey over the top, tried to do a Gary Ablett. And they'll run it away through Adamuze.
So Melbourne out of defence. They find the loose player in Jeff White. Good enough to take a bounce. Plenty of purpose in his play. Presence of mind. Kicks the ball back towards half-forward line. He was waiting for Neitz to make ground. Going to ground was Matthew Phoebe. He's kicked a couple of goals over the top. The free kick. They want a free kick, North Melbourne. They'll get a ball up.
Just a quick one for Johnny Russo. Why wouldn't the umpire allow it to at least to play on? Do you think he was a bit premature in blowing the whistle there?
Yeah, what happened? They're instructed fly not to call for the ball up until the ball is trapped. And this season, many times we've seen ball ups called for when in fact the ball is still in motion.
Great tap by McKernan down to Stevens. He's been a good player today to centre half. Well, that's a wonderful kick and finds Wayne Carey. Good 60 metres out. He's booted 4 goals, 3 goals in the first quarter, a goal in the second, missed a couple of sitters also, goes short, unselfish play, and finds Winston Abraham.
His first shot at goal too, Abraham, I think, for the game so far. And just his 5th kick coming up.
Been picked up by Guy Rigoni from the opening bounce. Started at full forward. And there's Rigoni on the mark. So Winston Abraham has had a wonderful first year with the North Melbourne. Kicked 32 goals for the season. So from just inside 50, distance not a concern for Winston. Accuracy is, and through for a behind. So North Melbourne led by 18 points at quarter time, 14 points at half time. They now lead by 4.
Ralph, wasn't it? 9-10 to 9-6. James McDonald gets the hand pass away, but Melbourne certainly lifting their work rate in the third quarter. Cowell's kick lands just inside the line. Crocker can't get there before it goes over. It will be a throw-in right next to the interchange gates. The Roos leading by 4 points.
Stephen Tingay warming up. 2 good news from Melbourne, Peter.
Bad news for North Melbourne. He was great until he was taken out with that very heavy bump. McKernan loses that one out. Kick away by Roberts. White, of course, with the big leap. Carey out into the arms of the law, the long arms of the law. Put him on the stat sheet.
Showing all the skills of a current player.
An arresting performance. And that'll be in the highlights tonight on every network. See how many cliches we can come up with. Shannon Grant kicks into Leon Chelly. Bell, the Moss medalist. Well, James McDonald off the ground. Might have been touched, but it's still just inside the line. Throw in.
Crowd calling for a kicking in danger decision then, Pete.
Against McDonald, yeah.
Yeah, and the umpires are told, unless it really is likely to cause injury, they are not to hold up play by awarding those free kicks.
Fair enough.
It's got to be pretty serious.
Ingerson. Harvey. No, it's not a mark. McKernan missed it. Jeff White was about to pounce on it. Boundary umpire indicating it hit the behind post, so that means it's going to be a throw-in. Obviously not on the full. And the Roos clinging to their lead of just 4 points. McKernan and Jeff White. Crocker missed it. Rock didn't. Snapped by the little fella over his shoulder. A minor score. 5 points is the difference now in favour of the Roos.
So the Melbourne fans finding voice in this third term. It's been a very tight game. Wayne Carey started brilliantly with 3 goals in the first quarter. Set up an 18-point lead, but Melbourne keep coming back. Kicks the ball, and we see mark taken by Jeff White. On the edge of the centre square. Back to McDonald. Runs into pressure. Tries to get across to Shanahan. Has the ball thumped forward by Crocker. Cow's there, fighting with the ball with Rigoni. Quick hands, comes back to Shanahan, who started on the bench. Kicks down towards the half-forward line. 2 against 1. Scholl does well. Thumps the ball forward, taken away by the King. Carey thumps it back towards the half-forward line. Again, 2 against 1. McKernan comes in, taps the ball to the ground. They need a crummer. McDonald, casual as you like, takes the ball, feeds the ball back out to Phoebe. Wants to rock it, feigns the hand pass. Comes away from the half-back line. Kicks to the edge of the centre square. Nietzsche's up. Another great grab. What a game he's playing. He's booted 3 goals. He's been superb. Gives the ball back. 5 marks to David Neitz. Chance for McDonald. Inside the centre square. Unloads a big bomb. Here's Farmer running with a fly to the ball. Can't get there in time. Off hands. And through for a behind.
Yeah, a bit stiff there. He wasn't today, Jeff Farmer. He was running into the open goal then. Tried to take the mark and unfortunately just got a hand on it. We see the Neitz mark again. Just a great grab.
Some great signs here for Melbourne.
King will bring it back, and the crowd's just seen that big leap of Neitz on the scoreboard here. Hence the oohs and ahs. King goes to the member stand side. The target is Scott. Gets on his bike quickly. Kicks up to a contest on centre wing. Mark not brought down for Melbourne by Ingerson. Chance for Crocker. The veteran looks for Bell with the hand pass. It's out of bounds.
And a quick interchange by North too. Mark Roberts off and Johnny Longmire on for his first run of the month.
Also, Roscoe, very impressive North Melbourne. Their team rules, you've noticed when the ball is punched, there is always a North Melbourne player front and square, right in front of the pack, either moving or standing still to get the crumbs.
And John Longmire to contest this throw-in. Gets his first touch of the Sharon. Another ball up. Roos goalless so far this quarter. 9-11 their score. They started at 9-8 at half-time, so they've added just the 3 behinds. Longmire from Rigoni. Leoncelli paddles to the front to keep it away from Martin Pike. So they've gained about 20 metres. Andrew Leoncelli, third in the club's best and fairest last year. Longmire again with Steins. Stevens on the bottom. A bit untidy here. Rock's hand pass. Not to the advantage of Bell, really. Taken over the line by Woden. But the boundary umpire will throw it back. Same spot. Still 4 points the difference. Roos under pressure. Melbourne led early, but for most of the match so far, North Melbourne's been in front and in command, but not so in this quarter. Leoncelli again. Quick kick. Kicks it up towards right half forward. Specky attempted to be taken by Pickett. Matthew Phoebe, Martin at the back, all over Gary Lyon like a rash. Off the ground, little bit of goal to Neitz. It's another one. Melbourne hit the lead. Neitz has 4 goals too. 3 goals kicked in this quarter by Melbourne, and there's plenty happening down there.
They both say they were held, weren't they, John?
Well, it's funny, I really did think there was a bit more in that one, and Gary Lyon probably seemed to have a bit more to complain about. We see the ball kicked into the forward line here, and Byron Pickett goes for that big mark, but unsuccessful, and in it comes, and there certainly seems to be a lot happening between Mickey Martin and Gary Lyon deep in that Melbourne forward line.
Melbourne by 2 points. There's Mighty McMartin with Gary Lyon. Of course, a lot of pushing and shoving and holding here. Both players thought maybe they should have got a free kick, and there's David Neitz getting there ahead of Scholl. He's booted 4 goals. So the Demons in front by 2 points. Winston Abraham, the excitement machine, crunched to the ground by Robinson. Melbourne going in very hard now. They've gone up a cog. Magnificent play. North Melbourne by 18 points at quarter time, 14 at half time, and now Melbourne throwing down the gauntlet at 2 points in front. Been a lot of feeling in this game. Byron Pickett, a heavy bump on Stephen Tingay in that second term. Been some other strong clashes as well. Thump forward. Caught was Phoebe, loses the ball, trying to crash his way through as McDonald. He's been dumped as well. And again, they'll ball it up just outside of 50. And you can see here the feeling. There's David King.
I don't think McDonald appreciated that.
Dennis Pagan on the phone. Mark Dawson in the background. 10.5 minutes left in this third term. Pickett pushed off the ball by Robertson. Stevens has been a good player for North Melbourne. He'd be happy to take the ball over the line. Tingay appeals for the free, and they'll toss it back in. Leading goal kickers today, Melbourne. David Neitz has booted 4-2 to Matthew Phoebe and also to Gary Lyon. And for North Melbourne, 4 to Wayne Carey and 2 to Shannon Grant. Crocker spent most of the game on the interchange bench. Seacamp feeds the ball off, didn't hit a target. Grant does well. Back to the excitement machine. Winston gets it back. Here's a chance for Simpson. Goes short out in front. Carey's got it. What's his chances, Roscoe?
He's a chance from there. Kev's got a kick from about 55. He's done that before.
McKernan in the square. So if it drops into the square, they've got some height down there as well. Johnny Longmire getting back. Carey unloads. A big bomb from Wayne Carey. He's kicked a magnificent goal.
That's his 5th, Kev. And no better goal you won't see from distance than that. On a bit of an angle, 45. And kicking from 55. Well set up by North too. Just some quick hands in there. Grant in there. Winston Abraham just over the top there to help set up Simpson. And on his non-preferred right foot, gave Carey a chance from there. Very few players can kick that distance accurately. Look at this. Straight through.
Twelve kicks to Wayne Carey, and now 5 goals, 2 against his name, and he gets the lead back for North Melbourne, but only 4 points in it here at the MCG. A thriller in the third quarter. Can the Roos answer the challenge? King, fresh air shot. Shannon Grant not much better. Rock pressured as he tried to kick as well. Now King again needs to be quick with the kick. He is, wobbles it to half forward. That's as far as they're going. Carroll's got the mark. To centre wing, great vision for Viney. Tingo back onto the ground after that heavy knock from Pickett. Matthew Phoebe gets around Pike, needs the target, got a couple of hands to it. Pickett to the front. Rock too severe for Martin, wrapped up by Scott. Long hand pass intended for and finding Stevens. Stevens at right half back. North Melbourne run it well out of defence. Carey and Shanahan. Crowd looking for a free kick. The umpire says no. He's put the whistle away. Still Carey. Stevens off a step. Kicks to half forward. Longmire on his own takes the mark.
It did look as though Carey was grabbed, didn't it, Roscoe?
It did, just from the jump of the top behind the neck. So just taken out of the game there.
Bell, winner of the Moss Medal, too far out to score. Peter Bell. Oh, again, terrific vision there. He finds Scholl, who is a goal kicker, and Scholl marks about 35 to 40 metres out.
Just again showing his versatility. Scholl, he just has played back most of the day and then gone forward. And as we said and have seen on a number of occasions, is a goal kicker.
18 goals for the year. Kick number 6 coming up today. Equal best and fairest at Arden Street back in 1991.
Interesting move too by Dennis Pagan. He's got Corey McKernan back on David Neitz.
I don't think it's going to be a goal. It's close, but the result is just one behind. Kicked by Craig Scholl, his first score of the day. So 5 points the margin now. 8 minutes left in the third quarter.
So that's a big move. McKernan back onto Neitz. So Roscoe, Scholl obviously onto the forward line. There's Cow marking the kick out. North Melbourne leads 10-12-72 to 10-7-67. So a 5-point lead. They raffle this. Bingo, the lucky number's 11. Jimmy Steins, back edge of the centre square, goes short. The loose player's been set up to Ingerson. Rockets the ball wide to the running Seacamp. Inside the centre square. Goes wide looking for this Gary Lyon. He's got it.
It was good handle by Ingerson because it stretched Seacamp, but he didn't have to change stride. He just got a hand on it, and they got away with that. So it was a good setup. And it's the only way you can give your forward a chance. If you bring the ball down the ground quickly like this, the forward can be one out and present himself, which Lyon did into the pocket.
He's booted 2 goals, both goals coming in the second term. Gary Lyon from 40 metres out. You'll hear the roar behind the goals. He's got it.
Listen, Melbourne just aren't prepared to concede here. They just keep nipping back. If North get one, they're prepared to work hard and pitch one back again, Melbourne. And full credit to them. They really have lifted this last quarter and a half. The second quarter particularly, they really got themselves back in the game. And we see the Gary Lyon kick there as young Brett Harvey comes off the ground and Chandler on for North Melbourne.
Harvey off the ground and coming on as the highwayman, Chandler. Gary Lyon, 24 goals now for the year. And the D's back in front by the narrowest of margins. What a thriller in the third quarter. Can North Melbourne answer the challenge? They went in as favourites today. Bell's kick, reel up and under job. Steins, the Bradlow medalist, punches it, but albeit not very far. Pike to Longmire, a Coleman medalist. Not a great kick, but it may find Carey in the end. Going backwards. Shanahan watching him carefully. And the lead from Crocker is good.
Bit of class in it, just to set himself off the game there, Carey, and just hold them up and then just spear that left foot pass into Crocker. This will land in the square.
Only champions can do that. Crocker's kick, not a bad one, and well called. Roscoe. It will land in the square off the fist of Jimmy Steins, who got back quickly, and one rush behind to North Melbourne, which will tie the scores up here at the MCG.
Hey, Roscoe, just a quick one on the subject of champions. Just talking about Gary Lyon, I don't think there's any coincidence that Melbourne are in the 8. Obviously, because he's on the track. That's so important for Melbourne's fortunes. And also to kick 3 goals against Mickey Martin is no mean feat.
Yeah, if you can keep him at full forward, Russ, like that, and provide him with half a dozen opportunities through a game, he'll kick you 3 or 4. That's what you need.
Farmer to Stephen Phoebe. Again back to Carey. Blakey. Can the defender kick a goal? He won't with that kick, but he may give it to Shannon Grant, who can. And Grant marks 40 metres out on about a 45-degree angle. Kicked 2 goals, 1 Shannon Grant.
He's really found his niche at North. It does take some time to settle into a new club, into a new style of play, and he's such an important player because he reads the game so well. He hasn't got super pace. As you see, Carey involved again here, and just allows the tackler to swing him around and then give him the momentum to kick. They get the ball onto Blakey. And Grant, an important kick here, coming up for his 7th kick.
Any kick, any score from this kick will put North Melbourne in front again. 49 metres out. Grant's trusty left foot looks pretty good. The Roos lead by a goal.
It was an important contribution today, Shannon Grant, as a goal in each of the quarters played so far. And as I said, he's not a pacey player, but he just reads the game so very well, and he's very sure with his hands, and that left foot is a very important tool in his armoury there. And if he's playing in the middle or on the half-forward flank, he's one of those players who can provide the likes of Carey, etc. up forward with plenty of opportunities, or kick the goals himself.
Three goals to Shannon Grant, and Sean Smith back on the field as well. He was heavily knocked also in that second term. So Johnny Longmire, fresh man off the bench. Woden pushed off the ball. Scholl now playing on the forward line, tumbles the ball forward. Carey thought he may have been held by Shanahan. Listen to the North Melbourne fans as Cow kicks the ball wide, heads towards the line.
The angle looked as if his arms were retarded, if he couldn't get them up over his head to take the mark, but
neither Shanahan or Carey actually went for the footy, did they? Both arms were down at both players, and Carey's they're both just trying to...
Of course, during the week, Dennis Pagan wrote a letter to the umpire's chief, Peter Swab, and said that Wayne Carey not getting the protection or the free kicks he deserved, and Neil Danaher quickly shot off a reply and just said, hope they don't evaluate what's going on out on the field. But here's a chance for Melbourne. Neitz drills it up towards Gary Lyon. Mighty mix with him this time. Forces the ball over the line.
And I think a play on call in that situation is reasonable, KB, because both players are doing things that you could say, if you wanted to be technical, were outside the laws of the game. But
who do you pay it to?
Yeah,
That's
but who
right.
do you pay it to?
Yep.
So calling play on is probably squaring the ledger and just letting the game continue.
Well, Carey's booted 5 goals today. Here's McKernan, who's been moved on to Neitz, who's booted 4. So North Melbourne trying to shut down David Neitz as the ball pumped back towards the edge of the centre square. Here he is again. Carey, what a game he's played. Had it, lost it. Big pack of players, and they'll ball it up on centre wing. There's Jamie Shanahan. Started on the bench and came onto the ground and picked up Wayne Carey. North Melbourne have a 6-3 record at the MCG in 1998. And there's Melbourne's record. Pretty good as well, 5-3. And this has been a great game today. North Melbourne 3rd on the ladder with 10 wins. Melbourne in 8th spot with 9. Slugging it out here at the MCG. And again, they'll ball it up.
No, holding the man.
Holding the man. Well,
the kick will be taken by Melbourne. Jimmy Steins.
Jimmy Steins, the Brownlow medalist, gets the free kick.
What do you look at me for?
Gary Lyons, his target, and again, Martin fists the ball away. Tingay, so good early before he went off. Pushed over the line, they'll toss it back in.
And Johnny Blakey wearing him like a glove. A goal the difference. Steve Tingay collected pretty heavily, but seems to be okay. Might have a headache tonight. Gary Lyon, up and under kick from the former skipper. In fact, the umpire calls play on. Didn't go the required distance. So North, can they get out of this? Melbourne really have lifted. As Kev said, a cog. I think it's probably a couple, actually. Stevens has to chase his own kick off the ground. Just gets to the line to see it over in front of Rigoni, who comes up limping. Oof. Going to have a real headache tonight.
Corey must think there's a target painted on his chin.
That's the 3rd one today. So
Like he hasn't got my chin.
right in front of our commentary position. Harvey goes off the ground. Chandler. Pike. And another ball up. You sort of get the impression the match is going to go right down to the wire. Biggest gap at any interval today was 18 points at quarter time. McDonald didn't clear the zone. Chandler. Oh, King! Great skills with the football from 55 metres. Can he kick a goal? It's going there and it's gone. It's great! Terrific kick from David King.
Yeah, use and speed, such a great asset. He just controlled that footy, took it from behind him almost, and then just ran to the 50. Had players in support, obviously tell him to go for it. A couple of options in front of him if he wanted them, but just went long. He's done that a few times this year. Just his pace to get away, supported by Pickett and Abraham. Kicks from 50, look at that. Great finish for a half-back.
Just under 3 minutes left in this 3rd term. First goal of David King. North Melbourne now by 12 points. Jimmy Steins got his hands on the ball. Viney battled hard today. Hasn't been a major player yet to Neitz, who's been a very good player. He's booted 4 outside of 50. Kicks long towards the square. Farmer lurking at the back, looking for a crumb. Pounced on it, then knocked off the ball by Pickett. Taken by Matthew Phoebe. Slung as he tried to get his boot to the ball. Here's Pickett, recovers well. Tough across half-back, puts the ball out in front, looking for Johnny Longmire, couldn't trap it, thumped on that time by Mighty Mick, taken by Tingay, who belts the ball back to the square, pushing and shoving back. There's Neitz, there's a great mark. That's McKernan.
It's a saving mark, terrific one.
Strong grab to Stevens. Tries to find Harvey. He's come back off the interchange bench, back to Martin with strength. Just gets rid of Phoebe and kicks back towards the centre wing, and there's his brother in Stephen, who's had a good game as well. 9 possessions. His brother's had 19. Cal, edge of the centre square. Melbourne keep forcing the ball forward. Leon Challey. Smith's a high flyer. Martin stands his ground. Casual as you like.
Somebody lost a boot down there. Shannon Grant looks for Stevens, finds him. Tackled as he kicks. Cow taken out by Winston Abraham. Simpson to Pike was good football. Straight down the spine of the ground. Beautifully delivered down there, and that's a mark. Taken by Scholl.
And Winston Abraham and Jeff Farmer having words in the centre of the ground.
Yes, and it's no question that North, when they straighten the side up from half back and go direct, shortest way home, this is where they can hurt you so quickly, because they leave space in that forward area. And the forward, on this occasion, Scholl has placed, should I say, space to run into.
Woden off and Uze back on. And what's he done with that one? Not much crowd reaction.
Yeah.
So he has missed. Let's take a look at what was going on behind play. Jeff Farmer and Pickett exchanging pleasantries.
Well, Winston Abraham first, and then Pickett came onto the scene a little bit later.
Terrific kick to find Scholl by Martin Pike, but it really did deserve better. So Phoebe to kick in again. To James McDonald. To Anthony McDonald. Two McDonalds, two Phoebes, and both doing okay for the D's. Viney in front, loses to Longmire. The horse to half forward, marking contest right on 50, and we'll see a ball up there in the last little bit of the third quarter. 30 seconds to go. North Melbourne by 13 points. They led by 14 at half-time.
So a ball up on 50. Jimmy Steins beaten by Longmire. So a chance for North Melbourne. Danger here for the Demons. Viney with strength gets away from Scholl. Harvey throwing off the ball. McDonald has had a good game. Tingay gets the ball wide to James McDonald. So the two boys from Old Zavs combine up towards the half-forward line as Neitz goes to ground as the siren sounds. A terrific third. 13 points the margin as we begin the final quarter here at the MCG. Melbourne did lead during the third term, but North Melbourne into the final quarter by a lead of just over a couple of goals. Oh, big leap by Jeff White. Viney kicks to half forward. Good mark to Blakey. Read it well in front of Neitz. On to Scott, chased by Farmer. Bell's out there, so is Longmire. The horse. Ingerson, we'll see that safely over the boundary line for a throw-in, about 70 metres from goal. Shane Woden being worked on.
Very crowded around this throw-in too. Longmire with White. White tries to work his way to the front. Harvey pressured by Cowell, and again out of bounds. So no score so far in the final quarter. Harvey was very busy early. Has had a stint on the bench. Steve Tingay back there on the bench, we notice, and he's had a little bit of a mouse under his right eye. Copped a pretty hefty bump. Came back on in the third quarter, but didn't have the same influence, it would have seemed, as he did earlier in the game.
Yeah, Peter, I think he must be suffering from a little bit of mild concussion. He was at half-time after speaking to Gary Hardiman, but obviously not well enough to at least keep up with the pace of the football, the way the game is played these days. You really got to have 100% of your faculties.
North Melbourne by 13 points, 86 to 73. McDonald, been a good player, gets the ball down to Rigoni, who thumps it back towards centre half forward, standing his ground. Good fist away that time by Byron Pickett. North Melbourne have to concede ground. Coming through is Travis Johnson, cleaned up by Pickett. Throws his weight around. Viney goes short and finds Jeff White. So the youngster, Travis Johnston, a #1 draft pick, has just been given a wake-up call.
Yes, just head down over it. Saw it coming, but wasn't able to hold up.
And that should have been a free kick, KB. That's enough said, I suppose.
So there he is, holding his head.
The handball coming out of the pack too from Anthony Stevens missed his target. That's why the Melbourne have now got the shot inside 50.
He's kicked 14 goals for the season, Jeff White. This to bring the Demons back to 7 points. White is off target.
Just to elaborate on that free kick, Jack, he did have the arm down, but you can't hit a player in the head. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. That's right, Peter. We see it again here where head down by Travis Johnson, and Byron Pickett comes in and certainly makes contact with the head, not so clearly on that angle, but on the other. And I can understand the umpire not paying it because he was on the far side from where we are. I
don't reckon it hit him in the head. I think he hit him on the top of the shoulder. I think it was quite clearly a very, very strong bump.
You're right on, KB. He's got his head sandwiched between John Longmire and also Pickett, so I think that might have been legitimate if you look closely.
Fair enough. Neats to Gary Lyon. That really was neat. 3 goals today from Lyon. Neats himself has kicked 4. Well, maybe they messed that up. They didn't do it as well as they would have liked. Simpson takes it over the line. And it's going to be a throw in about 15 metres from the behind post. So a golden opportunity missed up there by the D's. Margin is 2 goals. Neats, Martin, Simpson along the boundary line. Roberts, a little fumble, good enough to recover, kept it in play. Bombs it long, White in front, couldn't complete the mark. Abraham fumbled, good tackle by Chandler, wrapped his opponent up in that tackle for a ball up on centre wing. The defence is on top so far in the final quarter. Corey McKernan loses that one out to White. Quick kick by Harvey. Carey doesn't need much space, gets clear of Shanahan, goes long but misses to the left-hand side. Golden opportunity missed by North. So Wayne Carey has 5 goals, 3 of those in the first quarter. 12-15 to 11-7. 13 points is the margin. That's what it was at half-time.
And Ross Glendinning, you've got to be impressed at least with Jamie Shanahan. He's only had the 1 goal kicked on him, although Carey's missed a few, but a pretty good effort.
Stephen Figgy went short. McKernan outside of 50. Unloads. He might have made it to the line. He hasn't. Touched on the line. So let's have a look here at Stephen Phoebe just getting his hand on the ball. Shannon Grant thought it was over. So Phoebe to bring the ball back into play. North Melbourne by 14 points, gets the hurry up. Again goes short. In 2 minds, marked by his brother and Matthew. Feeds the ball back off to Stephen, goes wide. Wanting the bounce was Viney, caught by Pike. Under pressure, back to Uze. Spent some time on the bench today. Pike desperate on ground level. Just holds it up. And it's a ball up inside the centre square. North Melbourne led by 18 points at quarter time, 14 points at half time, and 13 points at the start of this last quarter after Melbourne hit the front by a couple of points in that third term. The Demons keep on coming. McDonald cops one high, taken away by King. Inside 50, he's already kicked 1 great goal. Wonderful kick by King. He's got it.
There's no question he's enjoyed his role in the last few weeks, playing off the wing through the middle and gets himself a chance to get closer to goal. And as I said a couple of times earlier today, it's his pace that really does set him apart when he gets this run through like this, just to break through some traffic. See, this just picks the ball up and clears away, gets clear. Still someone on the chase, but had enough time to take a couple of steps to steady and gets good distance with his kick and accuracy.
Only 32 career goals and over 100 games to David King, but 2 beauties today, and that was probably the better of the 2, and couldn't have come at a better time for the Roos. Viney taken down by Chandler in that tackle, and it's going to be another ball up. And still a little bit of ill feeling between these 2 sides.
And Martin Pike's done a pretty good job on Todd Viney. Todd Viney's had 18 possessions, but he's had to work very hard, and it hasn't been as effective. So it's been a bit of a line ball, which is probably what Dennis Pagan wanted, just to square that contest up.
So 20 points the margin. Melbourne must get the next goal if they're to stay in this match, otherwise it won't be a contest. Pike's kick up to centre half forward. Carey takes the hand pass from Scholl, and it shaved the post. 1 behind. So 5 goals, 5. I have Wayne Carey for 13-17 to 11-8, 21 points the margin. Smith and Johnston on the bench there, both have received heavy knocks today. Stephen Phoebe again to bring it in. So North Melbourne starting the final quarter better than they started the third. Shanahan, that kick had to be pinpoint, and it was. Jamie Shanahan goes short. Cow in front of Chandler. Certainly put Stephen Phoebe under a bit of a hammer there. Rigoni, Matthew Phoebe. Now they run it away through James McDonald. Kick off the ground, hits Tingay on the chest, but he couldn't control it. Longmire looks for Blakey. Great ball skills from him. Usually delivers well. Kind bounce needed here for Stevens. Doesn't quite get the one that he wanted. Boot to ball quickly, intended for Peter Bell. Tingay, Neitz, Rigoni, short of half forward. Long bomb to a contest in the goal square. Farmer nearly was a touch. I don't think so. Goal!
The first leg break, Pete, wasn't it?
It was. Try to pick that. 12-8 to 13-17. Margin back to 15 points.
Jeff Farmer just saying to the umpire there, Andrew Coates, that should have got a free kick for holding on. We'll just see this again. Just a good share in the footy here by Melbourne. Tingay to Neitz, then Neitz onto Rigoni, and he kicks from outside 50, well outside 50. Just watch this. Farmer goes down looking for a free kick. Beautiful leg break.
The Demons won't go away. They trail by 15 points. Two very good sides slugging it out here at the MCG. McKernan in the ruck against White again. That marvellous jump down to Rigoni. Again, he thumps the ball to the square. Jeff Farmer caught 4 deep. Chance for Neitz. He's booted 4. Mighty Mick paddles the ball along to Johnny Longmire. Goes out wide, but it's all Melbourne. Matthew Phoebe concedes ground back to Tingay. Unloads to the square. High flyer was Uze. Hits the post. And all of a sudden, Melbourne get another sniff. So here's Adam Uze, Roscoe.
Straight through his hands, unfortunately, then hit the base of the post. So had have held that, certainly makes that a lot closer again.
Blakey to Stevens. 21st possession, short to Blakey. He kicks the ball wide in front of the great Southern stand. He's looking for McKernan. What a mark to Jeff White. He's got a marvellous leap. We generally see it at the centre bounce. Now showing his wares around the ground. Again, looking for Gary Lyon. He's got 3 to beat. Longmire under pressure. Hurriedly kicks the ball back. There's White this time. The big fist to McKernan at ground level inside the square. Chandler taps the ball on. McKernan runs on hard. Carey stood his ground, lost it. Picked up by McDonald. Gets the ball back to Matthew Phoebe. Here's a chance for Leon Challey on the edge of the centre square. Again inside 50. The target was Gary Lyon. Couldn't take it. Pushed off the ball was Farmer. Coming through hard was Viney. The spirit of Melbourne. Couldn't take it. Under pressure, North Melbourne. Pike finds Stevens. They've set up the loose player. He goes wide and finds King. Been so good today. He's booted 2 great goals after half-time. Winston Abraham on the lead. That's been ignored. Goes short and finds Stevens.
Stevens short of left centre wing. Centres the ball. Johnny Blakey down the centre of the ground. That's a strong mark taken by Craig Scholl.
A terrific mark, Pete. It's very hard to take those when running full tilt.
Right in front of his face. Carey. A little bit of a wrestle down there with Shatters. Ingerson's hand pass is effective. Cow brings it to the member stand side. Collision course here. Pickett and Woden. Pickett gets the footy. Gets it for a second time. Shepherded by Scholl. Outside 50. Bombs it long. Ingerson in from the side. Got a hand to it. Couldn't complete it. Roberts nearly threw it. Abraham looks for the free kick. Roberts snaps, kicks and goals. Handy one for the Roos, kicked by the refrigerator, 14-17 to 12-9.
Yeah, shoots it out to 20 points, Pete, which is the goal that Melbourne didn't want North to get. And a very timely one from Mark Roberts here, as we see Byron Pickett just look to the front of the square, which is the right thing to do. He wouldn't have made the distance going for goal. Saw Winston Abraham there, the contest was involved. He looks for a free kick here, Winston. Nothing in that play on. And Mark Roberts, the opportunist goal. That'll just steady them for a while.
North Melbourne playing a strong brand of footy, lead by 20 points. Let's have a look at this leap of Jeff White. From the centre square, Stevens just keeps on coming. Hard worker. Kicks the ball back again inside 50. Scholl now, after starting defence on the forward line. Harvey lost it. Scholl feeds the ball out to Chandler. This could bounce. This is a goal. He's got it. Great goal to Chandler.
Makes it hard now.
It does, Pete, no question, and that's the second one that they really didn't want North to get Melbourne. They really tried to hold them up, but coming through inside 50 there, just numbers told once again, and Harvey trying to break through the congestion, not able to, but still was able to get the ball back. Chandler could have handled over the top to Carey, but elected to shoot for goal himself. And no question, that'll make it pretty tough for Melbourne.
Only 3 kicks to Brett Chandler, but a handy goal, and the difference 26 points. That's the biggest margin enjoyed by either side today. So the D's are going to get back into this match. They've got to get the next couple of goals at least. Rock ridden into the ground in the tackle. The ball up will take place on the edge of the centre square. Just on 11 minutes to go. Has been a very entertaining affair. Melbourne hitting the front midway through the third quarter after a terrific few minutes of play. North Melbourne hit back. But the Roos are a little bit steadier in the final quarter, certainly so far. About 20 players around this bounce. White worked out of it by McKernan. Scott did well to get a kick in, albeit a short one, up towards half forward. Oh, Phoebe, that's Stephen Phoebe, taken just a tad too high. He'll take the free kick at half back. Goes wide, tries to find Cal, does so, clear of Winston Abraham. Cal's kick. Now to Viney, who takes it. Matthew Phoebe has to beat 2. King, good tackle. Umpire says a throw.
Yep. The clenched fist is supposed to propel the footy, as you know, Pete, and Phoebe then just sort of slung it with the hand holding the ball. So
incorrect disposal, Jack.
Yep.
James McDonald. Melbourne must get the next goal. Tingay has it punched away by Blakey. Pickett. Matthew Phoebe. Again from Tingay. That's holding the footy.
We'll see this throw again from the previous effort by Matthew Phoebe. Just, it's difficult there whether he made contact or not, but the umpire saying no.
Pickett got it to King. In turn gets it to Martin Park. He's at left half back, and North Melbourne trying to steady the ship as we enter the halfway mark, or just go past the halfway mark of the final quarter.
It's had the job. Martin Pike playing on Todd Viney, kicks the ball wide, looking for Wayne Carey. The ball stumped back over the line. He's kicked 5 goals, 5 today, Carey. 3 goals in the first quarter, 1 in the second and 1 in the third. And Neil Danaher as he looks on. They trail by 26 points after starting this term, 13 points in arrears. And again, the ball over the boundary line. And Todd Viney coming off the ground for Melbourne. And Travis Johnson coming on. There's Chandler on screen, along with Martin Pike, former Fitzroy players, now making their mark with North Melbourne. So McKernan and White been at it for most of the day. Winston Abraham. That wonderful burst of speed. A Melbourne player is down.
Yep.
So a sign of strength here. Carey's got it. And he shakes his head in disbelief. I think Wayne Carey believes he's been held for a lot of these contests, Roscoe.
Yeah, I thought the previous one there might have been something in it, but was allowed to be play on. This time, there's no question in that because he takes the mark, but Shanahan's in front and definitely retards him initially. And Carey falling back takes the mark anyway.
There's a lot of grappling going on between Shanahan and Wayne Carey, but he's going for his 6th goal. He's the best player in the game, straight through the centre.
And that's his 6th goal, which is really an outstanding effort on the day, along with David Leach, the other end, who's kicked 4. He's had less opportunities, but in this situation, Carey just can't keep him down for so long. He's been restricted at times, but 10 marks, 16 kicks, and 6 goals for. And the jumper was being held from behind as well by Shanahan, but Carey just makes no contest by taking the mark anyway.
James McDonald coming off the ground. He was met heavily just before Carey took that mark, and he has been replaced by Sean Smith, who trots up towards the half-forward line. Tingay kicks the ball in that direction. Won't quite get that far. King may get there first. In fact, he doesn't. He now gets a shot at it. Long hand pass. Matthew Phoebe tries to trap it. Abraham, beautiful pickup. Kick by King. A grubber. Roberts. The Fridges kick. will land inside 50. Carey and Shanahan again. Out it comes to Johnston, who's recovered from a heavy knock as well. Rigoni in front of Rock. It's a nice goal earlier in this quarter from a long way out. Guy Rigoni. Hawthorne to Myrtleford, Gary Ablett, but it's Tingay now on left centre wing. Likewise, a much travelled footballer. Martin's attempted punch not there. Blakey takes it off him. Carey has to sit and wait for it. Nearly took the mark, despite the opposition from Tingay. Strapping hanging from his left shoulder. Carey time to measure it. As Kev would say, think music. I think that's right, isn't it, Kev? Scholl played at both ends of the ground today. And North Melbourne perhaps realising that they've just about got the measure of Melbourne now. Trying to slow things down a little bit. Shannon Grant kicked a couple of nice goals. With kicks better than that, I must add. Rock, a little give. King, strength, brushes one, brushes two. Can he get his third? No, he won't. That's through for a behind. So David King has to settle for a minor score. 81 plays 114, so 33 points the margin. It's tough for the D's to pick it up from here.
And we just had a catch there of James McDonald on the bench, and there's a terrific camera shot also showing you the kick out and the strategy that Melbourne have to get through if they're going to get this ball quickly into their forward line. Shanahan back to Cowell, goes wide, so the loose player's been set up. McDonald, Anthony McDonald, unloads that big left boot, kicking down towards Neitz, who's booted 4 goals. He's been a good player. Taken away by Blakey's. The North Melbourne defence very strong now. Hard to get past, and we see crash to the ground. That was McDonald who came in from behind, picked up by Uze, goes to the square, and there's a good mark to Smith, who's just come off the bench. Oh, he plays on. Again, this North Melbourne defence. That was Wayne Carey, the king, doing it at both ends of the ground. What a game he's played today. He's booted 6 goals. Sensational defensive play by Wayne Carey, and the ball lands in the arms of Corey McKernan on the half-back flank. The roar goes around the ground, so appreciative of this wonderful player. As Roberts kicks the ball to space, running on the ball is King, centres the ball to the square. Travis Johnson happy to take it over for a minor score. But what about this smother here, Roscoe?
He just comes in here, Sean Smith plays on, and Carey just gets there in time to put him off balance. As Kev said, he's come from the other end of the ground, and the crowd on the other side just giving him a big bow.
Cowell kicks to Stephen Tingay, marking in front of Byron Pickett. 34 points the margin. The second part of the final quarter. Leon Chelly downfield to Woe Woden. Can he kick one of his miraculous goals? Not this time. Does put it up towards half forward. Martin underneath it. Shark by Scott. Grant back to Martin. Dual best and fairest winner. Woe Woden nearly grabs him. Roberts has to wait for it. Marks it in front of Johnston. The refrigerator. Oh, and down goes Chandler again. Marcus Seacamp doing the job on that occasion. Let's just take another look at that. Thanks for coming.
Just cleaning his ear.
Stevens, a snap. Will it quite get there? Carey palms it to the front. This will be a goal. Shannon Grant, 1 metre out. Bang. Number 3. 4. I've shortchanged him. I think it's 4 goals, 1 kicked by Shannon Grant. And that really is the series. 17-19 now. North Melbourne's total, 12-9 Melbourne.
Yes, he's been good value today, Shannon Grant. Not so much in the number of his possessions, but those 4 goals have been invaluable. And just sitting around the base of the pack there, and as the rest of the match goes on.
I was trying to figure out who was leading. Yeah. In the dance, I mean.
How would you like to be umpiring those grappling matches in the goal square there, John?
Well, KB, I'm glad you mentioned it, because I think the right outcome for those is for the umpire to call play on, as they have been today, because neither player is preoccupied with the ball. Both players are concentrating on grappling with one another. If one of them would just turn his mind to the ball and simply go for the footy, then it might stand out as a free kick for him.
The lead is blown out to 40 points. There's that high leaping Jeff White. Gets the ball down, Woden. Again, Melbourne into attack, but Johnny Longmire on this occasion heads for the line. They'll toss it back in. 6 goals, 5 to Wayne Carey, 4 goals, 1 to Shannon Grant. And he must just about be the most accurate kick in the game. 29 goals, 7 for the season to Shannon Grant. And just over 36,000 here today to see the 3rd side play the 8th side on the ladder. And it's been a great game. North Melbourne has just got away in this final term, but it's been a tough game all day. King, so good. Gets the ball back to Scott, to Winston Abraham from the half-back flank. Tries to set it up. Got the loose player in Roberts. Coming back to something like his best form. He's lost a lot of games early in the season. Be handy coming into the finals, wide under pressure. Here's Blakey, the veteran, 266 games on the burst through the centre square, drills it down towards Roberts. The Fridge has got it. Juggled it a couple of times, runs to 50. Backing back, the King's there. He's got it.
Thought about playing on.
Yes, and I think Mark Roberts is actually having a shot for goal, but Carey's certainly in the right position there just to sit back behind Shanahan. And he led out the other side of the ground thinking the ball was coming that way as he turns and has a shot from here. That's his 7th. And again, the most influential player on the ground. He was that last week against West Coast in Perth when he kicked those 5 goals, 4 in the second quarter. And the game before that on the other side of the State of Origin game against St Kilda again was outstanding. And when you have a key forward like that who gets fed as often as he does, as Roberts here was actually having a shot for goal, I suggest, but Carey positioned himself very nicely.
Well, he's the greatest goal-kicking centre-half forward the game has ever seen, and I dare say that if he played at full forward, a lot like Tony Lockett has and Jason Dunstall and Gary Ablett.
462 goals in 178 games. Not a bad effort, is it?
Could be the greatest full forward of all time.
4 minutes to go. Well, Wayne Carey has kicked 11 goals against Melbourne back in 1996, round 17, but Johnny Longmire's done best against the D's with 14. Carey again. Should he kick this? He can, and he does. Number 8.
Well, just the fact he took the mark in the first place from a difficult contest. He was in front, but had to jump up and protect the ball, taking on the chest, and he's damaged himself in some form. But again, the ball comes forward quickly, 1 out. He jumps to protect the footy, and then just says, well, I'll play on, like he did last week against Jakovic. Shanahan couldn't catch him, but just manages to get the ball away before he's too badly interrupted there.
He's going to come off too, Wayne Carey.
Bruising on the hip.
Too badly injured. With that record of 14 goals, kicked by Johnny Longmire back in 1990, but it's been a terrific job today from Carey. 8 goals, and he leaves the field with 3.5 minutes remaining in this match. It's been a real blowout in the final quarter. We thought that it might go down to the wire, but that certainly hasn't turned out to be the case. Lyon and Martin. Martin taps it to the side. It's going to be a foot race. Neitz and Pickett. Farmer goes down, the ball beats him over the boundary line. And, well, the attrition rate is becoming pretty high here, isn't it now?
Yeah, Shane Woewodin actually bumped from the side as he kicked the ball then, so hopefully he hasn't done a serious injury to that knee, but it's one of those ones you fear for.
Peter, on the point of Wayne Carey, I noticed he hurt his the back of his left shoulder in a contest at one of the previous kicks of goal, one of the 8, but then it was in this quarter, and I think he's obviously just precautionary to bring him off.
Don't be surprised, Russell, if he doesn't kick a goal from there.
3 minutes to go. 52 points is the margin. He's sitting next to the club doctor down there, so I think he's pretty safe.
There'll be some drug testing up here, KB. You all right?
You need a few more of those, Kev. Just to build yourself up.
KB wouldn't pass it when he was this far out.
Johnny Longmire back in the side today. Spent a fair bit of time on the bench, but also on the ground as well. Peter Bell also a bit of time on the bench. Martin Pike. It's been one of the great success stories of the AFL. With Fitzroy, it didn't seem like many clubs wanted to pick him up. Now one of the most valuable players at the club. Ingerson got his hands on the ball. Blakey, casual bounce, and kicks a goal. This is a wonderful last turn by North Melbourne.
Yes, there's no question to finish off like this would be terribly pleasing for the club, given the... yes, there was a bit going on behind the play with Jeff Farmer as well. We've just seen that on screen, but with the tightness of that top 3 and 4, particularly the top 3, and with what looks like the Bulldogs losing today, its percentage is just so very, very important. So with Johnny Blakey running into goal here, it would make such a difference to their percentage in the next few games. Always important to finish off as strong as you can at this time of the year.
8 goals to 1 in the final quarter. It really has been one-way traffic. North Melbourne will win its 4th match on end, and that's its best run so far in season 1998. Rock to Pike. They share it around again, the Roos. Stevens up to half forward. They really blown the D's right out of the water. McKernan.
There's actually no one on the mark, Pete.
Hewitt makes a lead, ignored. Maybe he thinks he can kick it from there. Wouldn't bet against him. Spirals it. Nearly. Grant! Off the ground, he's kicked a goal! Amazing stuff. Number 5.
Lying on his back.
That's Gary Ablett at his best, that one. So 9-goal final quarter now. He's kicked some great goals today, Shannon Grant. I won't say this is the best, but it's the most unusual.
Yes, Abraham nearly takes the mark, and then Shannon Grant, just the opportunist goal there, very clever. Favoured by his left boot, lying on the ground. Pretty tired, but 5 goals, great effort.
The last quarter doesn't really do justice to Melbourne's first 3 quarters.
No.
But this is a tremendous quarter by North Melbourne, with players like McKernan and also Roberts finding some touch. Players who have had a lot of injuries. There's some
Longmire getting a run.
And Longmire getting a run. There's some very, very strong signs here now for North Melbourne. 4 wins on the trot. Essendon, St Kilda, West Coast, Melbourne, all good sides. They surprisingly lost in round 13 to Hawthorn. Here's Jeff Farmer on the lead. It's the boos from the crowd. Minute and a half left in the game. Farmer kicked the first goal for Melbourne. Still only has the 1 next to his name. He'll be shooting from 45 metres. It's starting to bend back. And he's drilled it.
Second goal to Farmer, but in the last quarter for Melbourne, too little too late, Roscoe, isn't it?
Yeah, no question. North with their 9 goal kickers opposed to 7 for Melbourne, and Farmer just not enough of the footies. We see the incident here with Woden, how he cops.
Kicks the ball with the left foot, and then there's a bump from the side. Roscoe, there it is from Anthony Stevens,
yep.
yeah, and went down holding that left knee.
It wasn't even Stevens, was it? Last little bit of the match at the G. And the Roos galloping away. Rock, they're finishing with plenty of running. To Abraham, clear of McDonald. Abraham goes at goal, and he misses to the right-hand side and puts it through for a behind. Only 2 behinds to Winston Abraham today, not a goal kicker. Last minute of the match. Cowell will bring it back. North Melbourne next week journeying to Canberra. They play their match at the Manuka Oval, and they take on Port Adelaide in an interesting experiment. We hope that Canberra's weather does the right thing. Ingerson, Seacamp, Rigoni, goal kicker in the final quarter, but they've been few and far between for Melbourne. And you just haven't had the run. Not like this guy, King. Still going. Short of right centre wing. He's kicked it down to half forward. The only player there is a Melbourne one, and that's taken over the line by Darren Cowell.
Peter, I don't think David King gets any slower, even if when the game
is
in the last quarter. He gets quicker.
So just a few seconds remaining, and virtually a 10-goal win. And who would have predicted that at three-quarter time?
I don't think anyone could have predicted this amazing last quarter by North Melbourne. Chandler just rips it out of the arms, gives it back to Pike outside of 50. McKernan, the target, also running with the flight is Winston Abraham. As we're into the last few seconds of the game, just his 12th possession, Roscoe.
Yep, and he is yet to score a goal, just a couple of behind so far.
Well, he's kicked 32 goals for the season. He's their second highest goal kicker next to Wayne Carey. And there'd be a very happy Dennis Pagan. This has been a big win by North Melbourne. And Winston Abraham from inside 50 puts it straight through the centre to Ender McRae.